Finally, I have everything that I need. Thanks to that mad poet, I have the Necronomicon and a destination, finally, to locate the forgotten city of Neruzavin. This journey will be a long one, surely across land and seas both. But after all the effort that has been put forth, after everything I have attempted over the last few years, this is the victory lap. I will be denied no longer. The black stars beckon, and I will find them. I am Count Hasserton Lowells IV, and when I am done here, no academics throughout the inner seas will forget this name. Somewhere, deep within these sands, I will build history.
Last time on Strange Aeons.
How has nobody ever done that before? How was it the first time? Anyway, sorry.
We found out that MD and Cammy were horribly tortured. That wasn't fun at all. They're doing great. They just came out of it. Didn't particularly seem any more stressed for some reason. And then suddenly we found some Galtons. They were on the shore asking for help. We went to the shore to attempt to help them. They're like, oh, hey, we have a guy. He's in a shed. We're just going to go pick him up and everything will be fine. But everything was not fine. We were suddenly ambushed by a Grey Gardener who basically one-shot MD. And then...
Let's call it an assassination.
Yeah. And luckily, MD is still alive. He's still here with us today. And we killed that gardener and her two regular guys there to help her out. Oh, well, one of them ran away. That might have been a mistake.
Definitely the most direct, it's funny that we passed the baton of who's doing the intro recap around every episode. And I've always, just a little pre-show leaking into the actual show, I've literally always described it as the last time on Dragon Ball Z, the brief layup before I started the GMing thing. And it's really funny that no one's, I'm pretty sure the first time it was actually started was last time on Strange Aeons, just directly.
I'm pretty sure Marcus just read us Marius' journal for the day. Like, that's just how Marius writes in his journal. Last time on this day.
Last time.
But yes, as we come back in to our adventures today, a group of you have made your way back aboard the Selin Star. The barge making its way down the Selin Passage from Thrushmoor to the ever closer shores of Cassomir, a massive port city in northern Taldor, where you are pursuing Count Hasserton Lowells IV, the Count of Versex County, former employer of 2 of your number at the moment. Several more of you that, well, I guess 3. Easy's still here, after all. He's just sleeping. Still. You know that he had gone on his way to meet up with an alchemist of his, Miacnian Mun, for help with a particular book of interest, and your journey is winding down. Cassomir is maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks down the passage at this point. And there's not much longer that you'll be trapped on this barge, adrift upon this seemingly infinite river that you've spent nearly 2 months on now. The vast majority of the time that you two can even remember. You were in the asylum for a handful of days, Thrushmoor for a couple more, and now nearly 60 on the water. Your life, as far as you can remember, almost, is this boat.
How many do you have to spend at sea to legally be a pirate?
That's a question for
Steal
Skywind.
stuff.
Oh,
That's
okay. I
You're
see
an
that.
ex-pirate captain.
That's easier than getting
A
past
good
the
pirate
bullshit.
never steals someone's things.
Oh,
This is
is that true?
Yeah.
according to Disney, yes. Post show. We'll explain it later. Remind me.
Wait, what?
Remind me. I'm really surprised none of you know this, but remind me later. But as we come back in, the group of you back on the deck, dripping wet from the waters of the river, with 4 new fellows in tow. Senator Emilio Daldomain, foremost among them, a man you had saved from this Grey Gardener that you had stricken down, and 3 of his retainers, looking fortunately not terribly worse for wear, mostly free of injury, though their clothes and bodies show the signs of their journey through the wilds over the past several days, and one of them does still have that injured arm, but nothing terribly serious. And is here, finally in the safety of the river, the boat back underway, and Skywind retakes the helm and casts back off and calls down, "Well, guess we're getting out of Galt right quick then."
That's a good thing. We need to kind of get going. We are now pretty much wanted.
I don't want any more details about whatever you did. Less I know, the better.
Great, then haste would be best.
That's what I just said, ain't it?
I'm just being repetitive. That's all it is.
Any more grand declarations?
The obvious.
Don't think so.
Are we all just up on the deck?
I imagine so. And the senator there, who has been nothing but just constantly bowing, nodding, hands together, infinitely thankful for your rescue, knowing that he had not a chance of surviving being caught by that Grey Gardener. Promising repeatedly again and again that when brought to safety, when finally freed from this nightmare of his, you would be repaid handsomely for your aid. Perhaps starting to wear a bit repetitive as well. It's only been a few minutes, but it now seems almost like a broken record. going
Please
from this
stop
man.
thanking us. It's getting quite annoying.
It is really okay.
I feel as if this goes against everything that I have taught, every bit of etiquette and creed for thankfulness since I was raised as but a young lad in my father's grand estates. To have nothing to repay you for all that you've done for me, my very life. But I understand. I will. I apologize. I am not normally so shaken, I suppose, but this is the first time I've really come so to terms with my own mortality. I know the situation in Galt, of course, is fickle at the best of times, but it's been something I've well avoided in my tenure as a senator for my people.
So there wasn't anything specific you were like that you did. You just were just replaced.
I mean this true. There is nothing that I have by intent hidden from you when first we met back on the shore. What crime I have committed against the people, why the Grey Gardeners have been sent against me, why they have turned, I truly do not know. I believe that I have dedicated my life to my people, to being their representative, to trying to ensure that their lives are the best that they could be, to aid the poor and the downtrodden as well as I could.
I want to ask him a question. I want to actually move away from the... I want to ask him. Because this is new to me. If he knows about the dream. I doubt he would.
Can't imagine.
But what if he does?
I don't see
What
how
if
it
he
connects
does?
to anything.
Where are the passengers' suites on this fine vessel?
I'll show you. It's not really a suite, just one cramped room.
They're right above the 5-star kitchen and.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just given my current state and our unfortunate visitation to the mud and the waters, I would like to partake of the ship's bathing facilities briefly, just freshen myself up somewhat.
I think
Grab
that,
a bucket of water. off the
Skyward
ground.
you hear Skyward
I just grab like a little tiny bucket about that big.
We point over the side.
Yeah, I was just
out of his depth as he is. It seems there is little more but to get Daldomain and his retinue acquainted with the simplicity of their new lodges, a task that's fairly easily done, and once shown down to the cabin below, they're not upset or anything, it's just,
They're not impressed.
that's very different lives. It's not something they're familiar with. It's not the usual accommodations they have aboard ships on the river. But this leaves the group of you and Reese once again on the deck together. Well, Reese just kind of nods. Well, never a dull day, is it?
Look, I know what you all, before everything happened and this, whatever, going and helping them, you guys went through something very traumatic. And when the time comes, whether it's just MD or either, I do have some questions when we have time. But I want to make sure you guys have enough time to process this. Because it seems far worse than what we've gone through. Probably seems like one of the most worst things I've seen anybody go through yet come out of it. Not yet. You don't. Please.
No, sure. It's not like there's anything that can be done to change it. So
Yes,
nothing's...
but you might give it some time. But I want it to be not something that just is forgotten about, because we do. I think there are some things to try and figure out at one point.
If anything, you should at least take a day or two to really just relax.
Yes.
That could perhaps be wise.
I need to take a break.
That's what I was
no.
saying.
How much vacation time do you have saved up for this year?
Now this
Did we inherit the new mic? I know they're off screen, but can I have the green one instead? Because that's what's pointing to me. I'd actually really like. Who's gonna get stuck? Oh, you have yellow.
Oh, no. I'm going mad.
We did run across this issue on the shore very early in the morning, and having resolved it relatively quickly, you've the lion's share of the day before you. It's still not long after dawn, which brings us to the question of what would you like to do with your day? You have all of the offerings in the Dreamlands now. You've collected all 7 of the items from Lowell's long list. That's somewhat heavy cost to the group of you, both upon your minds and very heavily upon 2 of your friends. Again, Easy still lays motionless in his bunk in the corner where he has been for a week or more now, and there has been no further sign of Trey since your last adventure. You have lost 2 in the course of this quest so far, but you do finally have it all. So what do you do today? There's nothing left to research. You hadn't finished investigating the line of the Captain's Tricorn and Captain Vadrak, but that seemed to have come rather quickly to you.
Even though Marius isn't, compared to some of the others, isn't particularly stressed at this point, he is probably just going to go back to doing some fishing and kind of meditating on the events of the past several days and past weeks. It's a lot to consider, and I mean, even just this morning, we've potentially invited the wrath of all of Gulp upon us.
It's very accurate.
So it's just a lot to process, and this is the first time Marius has had the time to just sit back and kind of think about what has been happening and the progress we've made, the things we've lost.
This morning is really the first moment you've had to rest since you went into the ceramic necropolis. Everything from there has been a whirlwind of events, dreams linked to dreams, and even once you awoke this matter with the Grey Gardener and Senator Daldomain, and only now, finally, after all of that, do you finally have a second to rest.
So I think fishing is the easiest way on the boat to ground himself.
Good
so
day
to
for
speak.
fishing.
It's like working 18 days in a row and then finally having a day off. Like I don't know what to do.
You're like, you don't even know what to do with yourself at this point.
Yeah. Oh.
It's hard to understand how Reese feels now when you ask her to just take a day off.
Yeah.
What about the rest of you?
Well, I mean, we've already sort of touched on what the obvious. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing much today. Cammy severely needs a day off, but in trying to come up with what I would be doing, I think much like Cammy, I would realize that I don't really have any hobbies. There isn't really much time for hobbies in my short remembered lifespan.
That's not been, no.
So I feel like she would just kind of, again, wanting to be outside, having only like a simple conception of like an approximate amount of time that they had been locked up for, still really wanting to be outside and in the air. And I kind of think she would just sort of people watch, like the people, like the rest of the crew working the deck, Skywind, just sort of glassing over a little bit.
But while you are there, Marius up on deck fishing off the side, you just kind of almost blankly staring across the deck at the crew's activities before you. Reese would sort of poke her head out from the cabin, see you over there, and just sort of slowly come over, not up to you to get your attention, but just to the railing next to you and just also sort of lean back against it. Put her elbows up on the railing. And without a word, just take that place next to you. You look bored. Or lost, or I don't know. You look
Do
like...
I?
Well... Let me... maybe word this better. You look like you could use a distraction. And she reaches under her jacket back into a pocket and pulls out a kind of somewhat tangled little wad of woolly black yarn and a couple of little needles.
Do you knit?
There's something wrong with that?
No. No, there's nothing wrong with that. You didn't really strike me as the type, I guess. But
Well, it's not exactly like I ever showed anything I've made to any of you, because none of it ever really stays together, right? I always... You're gonna think this is ridiculous. Even after everything you've been through, you're gonna think this is ridiculous. Every time I get something going, I feel like it's not quite good enough. I just end up unraveling the whole thing. I've been playing with this same ball, well, the whole time we've been on the ship. What do you think I do at night when the rest of you sleep? You all sleep a lot. I don't know if it's that ritual or... It's not terribly different from how you were when I knew you before, but you sleep a lot. I sleep maybe 4 or 5 hours a night at most.
yeah, I guess it just never occurred to me.
You think I just sit there staring blankly into the void?
I don't know. What are you trying to make?
Do you know what a bugbear is?
Like the
They're little troll-looking things. And they're hey, don't make fun of this.
No, I'm not making fun of it. I'm not making fun of it. I'm not making fun of it.
Ugly
really
monsters
really
is what they are. But they're kind of, sort of cute in a way.
Yeah, they're cute. They're cute. I'm not making fun of it. I think that's
And you see something that you may never have seen out of Reese before. She's turning slightly red. You can tell she is really, really trying here.
No, I think that's
Why is this weirder than trying to reteach Martin things that I've already shown him before? How does this not get any easier? You were pretty good at this.
What, I was?
Yeah, I showed you how to do it before.
Oh. Well, hold on then.
A lot of the times, it
Really?
seems that if it's something, you don't remember things, but all of you seem to be able to just do things that you used to be able to do. You put it in your hand and it just works. We didn't have to teach Trey how to swing a sword.
Right.
Or,
No.
she's just gonna hand it over to you.
Okay. Cammy kind of takes them almost like you would like a fork and knife. It's like, okay.
And
How do I go at it? There.
you get this, and also, for Cammy, get a point and get a new hobby. Do the downtime and recover the stress. I believe in you. A hero point from Handsome Ganker. Oh, and there's a second one.
Oh my gosh, guys!
From Jaded Tempest. You get 2, actually. Chad loves knitting
Oh
canvas.
Thank you!
Grandma Core Candy is what we're all here for.
Grandma.
But you would sit
Thank you!
finding absolutely no recollection of any ability to knit.
This is sweet.
And have what to Reese is the closest the two of you have had to a normal day since you've come back to Thrushmoor. Roll me a d20.
Gladly. Gladly, I will. It's a nat 20. Oh, yes!
It's a really good
I
day.
needed that.
She's actually not lying. I know there's not
I
a dice
needed
cam.
it.
Yeah, I can't see it, so we're on the
Take a
honor
photo?
system.
Do I take
I
a
can't
photo?
see the dice.
We haven't touched it. Do I take a
believe
photo?
you.
Let's get us proof. The receipts?
I believe you.
The receipts?
For now. When we get to the 6th consecutive 20, I'm going to start asking
I'm
questions.
really lucky. It's crazy how lucky I am. I'm just blessed.
What a coincidence. The first d20 we roll when I can't see what they are is a 20. What are the odds of that? 5%? Anyway, how about the other two of you?
I think MD is going to process everything a little bit differently. And he's going to make his way below deck and just kind of tuck himself in a corner below deck away from everyone else. So he's out of the worker's way as much as he can be. It's a small boat. And he's just away from all his friends, just by himself. And he has that amulet that the wanted fugitive from Galt handed him. And he's just kind of just absentmindedly playing with it. Just like staring at it, running his fingers over it, just thinking a very hard way.
It's, like we described before, it's warm to the touch. It's an interesting necklace that you have. Clearly, when you had put it on before, it makes you feel invigorated. You don't really feel stronger or faster, but you do definitely feel like you have more energy just putting it on. And you, Colby, the person, know that represents as a boost to your Constitution score. Like it's a pretty profound effect. It's strong. But even just turning it over in your hands, it casts off that almost pinkish glow and has that warmth. And it's just kind of pleasant. You and Marius are both also resting today, so how about you?
I'll be, resting state somewhat, but yet the brain is always moving. And so I will switch out my new crossbow that I have, my hand crossbow, switch it up. That's not necessary anymore. This other one, this is nice. Definitely pacing about the ship, just kind of pondering a lot, thinking about especially what Cammy and MD went through and going through that. But also repacking my pipe every so often. You're seeing me smoke probably the most you've ever seen me smoke my tobacco pipe.
A lot of smoking all of a sudden.
Yeah, just almost like a little bit of stress smoking, like what, just thinking in the air a lot. And you see me wandering off a little bit. Every once, I mean, if there's a long gap of time, then sometimes I might just go kind of sit next to Marius for a little bit and just kind of as he's fishing, I'm a pacer. Think of me like somebody who's on the phone that has to pace while they're on the phone. That's kind of what I am.
Still. It's me.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I will burn holes in my
can't.
carpet as I am walking
This
around.
I walk laps, I do the same.
I don't know what this crossbow you brought with you looks like, but this new one that you got from the Grey Gardener is quite fine and rather kind of interesting in design.
Yeah.
The handle and the deck of the crossbow is small, even for a hand crossbow. The grip of it is almost curved like a pistol grip. And the arms of the crossbow is not just a single set of arms like a traditional crossbow would. There will be 2 sets of silver limbs that cross back in an X with their twine, the twine coming back between the 2 of them across the deck itself. Stamped into the bottom of the handle is a symbol that I'm sure after you've been sailing down the shores of Galt for a week or 2,
right,
you would have seen on many a random flag throughout the area. Sure. It is just the crest of Galt.
Can I take some time also throughout the day to adjust the way that, I don't want to scratch off this, I just don't want to make it, I wanted all the things to work the same. I just wanted to not be this is where this is from.
Well, yeah, the symbol is just painted and stamped into the bottom of the handle. I mean, you can just kind of
the fox nails
scratch
that off.
Yeah,
bit,
just
scratching off the cereal.
Scratch the VIN number off.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Maybe if there's some, I don't know, tarnish or something like that.
Yeah, it is a red, white, and blue flag. It's a big white X with the 2 sides being red, the top and the bottom being blue, with a black curled cap in the center of it. It does look like a gnome hat.
Yeah.
It's hard not to call it a gnome hat. I'm on level with you. AJ, the person, does not know why there was a black gnome hat in the center of the Galton flag. I don't know that much Galton history.
Was Galt founded by garden gnomes?
I don't know why they have a gnome hat on their flag, all right? I just know that's what the flag looks like.
You have your national bird.
It's actually
Your
pronounced.
national flower.
It's pronounced all.
Your national gnome.
Gnome hat.
The G is silent in Galt. No.
It's
Oh my god, it's not.
It's Gnalt.
It's Galt.
So
it's Alt.
I definitely, as looking at this thing, I'm this is quite tacky. It looks very helpful and much better than mine, but it looks quite tacky. So I want to change a little bit of the design on that. This is a little bit of a hobby thing. It doesn't even have to be completely done. But yes, and then at one point, whenever Reese is done with their conversation, I would want to talk with her.
Just step into my office.
She doesn't live on the next to Cammy. At some point, as she walks away, Cammy kind of furiously going in, still just full fisting these needles.
It'll come to me.
Adamant that it works.
Is Cammy still around her?
No. Reese would walk away back down to the cabin.
But
and you could catch her there.
Real quick, that does remind me, just to summarize, I'm Marcus. I play Marius, the Ghoul Dwarf Ranger. Today, Marius is fishing.
I'm Colby. I play. I don't know which camera.
I don't know which
camera to look. That camera? I'm looking
That's
at that
the camera.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
on that
Colby.
camera.
I play MD, the full-blooded.
I'm actually hoping this will be one camera, but that's the part of the in progress of this.
I'm Colby. I play MD, the full-blooded orc rogue, who is being a rogue and sitting in a dark corner in the back end of a tavern. I get to be the broody rogue.
He's the broody rogue. It's happening.
My name is Sully, and I play Cammy, the itty-bitty gnomish witch, and I can knit, I swear, just give me a second.
We could just call me Reginald. I am Reginald. We just go by that. Let's go with that.
Just Reginald.
Reginald, and I am
No surname, definitely no
investigator.
middle name.
We don't need to make it
Reginald.
big. We don't. Shh. No, it's still the same. All the same. And I am an investigator. That's why I am always pondering and thinking, and the brain's moving.
You'd catch Reese on her way back to the cabin, and you trying to stop her, or just kind of follow her down?
I'm just having a conversation with her at one point about some questions and things.
Okay.
Yes. And
Why are you looking at me like that?
well, I probably look very weird the whole day. Because I know I get
You look
antsy.
very weird in general.
Do you want me to change? Do you want me to be? I don't have to be this fox. Shit, I could. Doesn't matter.
Is this?
Yes,
I
go
don't
ahead.
want to ask that question actually, because I'm afraid of the answer.
Go ahead, tell me.
I was going to ask if this fox thing is your natural form or something you just take by choice.
This is my natural form, and I can turn into one of you all if I need to.
Good. Anyway,
Were you thinking I chose this, or?
I don't know.
Okay, all
I
right.
try not to think about it much.
Well, you know, the world's quite crazy. I have a question. And because you knew them beforehand.
Two of them.
You knew
Well,
two of them.
Two of them now. Not you,
Right.
and not the ghoul.
Right. So you knew Cammy and you knew MD. I'm leaning towards MD and Trey and and I feel like they were more side characters. I'm seeing, is this more about Cammy? Did Laos have something to do with her?
Why are you asking me this and not her?
She's kind of, well, she also doesn't know. She doesn't know her past. You knew her before.
You knew her before. Well, you knew of her. So what are you as terrible at your job as everyone else at the Sleepless Agency?
Oh, can you?
Reese just hates him.
Okay.
Yeah, holy cow.
Is there something you have against me?
Look. I don't even know where to properly start on that list, alright? But for now, I accept that for whatever reason, most of my fellow travelers on this unfortunate barge have decided that you're worthy of trust. And it does seem that perhaps you can render them some aid in keeping them safe on these insane dream adventures they're so adamant in going on that I admittedly did push them towards as well. But all that notwithstanding,
I guess we were opposed to each other, weren't we?
yes, we were.
Quite a while. Well,
You and Lady Rance and all the rest of the fools in that agency were half of the trouble we had to deal with. And not that it was wise, but I thought I'd seen the last of any of you when Brick put one of them under the ground. And yet here you are showing up on a ship out of nowhere through a magic door in the side of the cabin, weeks later, down the path.
took quite a while to get here, yes, to track you all down. I'm kind of quite proud of that I survived this, actually. All that aside,
Being the quickest of the sleepless agents is about like bragging about being the fastest three-legged donkey.
it's still an achievement. Still decent movement.
What do you want? And
ta-
why do you care?
Moving beyond your offenses that you're trying to do to me, I'm quite thick-headed sometimes. Cammy, is this more surrounded around her rather than even the three of them? It's actually, I feel like she's more of the key to this.
The key to what exactly?
I don't,
If there's
fully
a key
know,
to this,
but I feel
and
like
she literally
she's
puts
the...
her finger on your chest. If there's a key to this, it's Count Laos.
Right, but he wanted something to do with her.
Count Laos barely knew she existed. He barely knew any of us did. He was so buried in his own work, he never looked up from a book long enough to see what was happening around him.
Okay. Well, we don't need to feel like we're on the same team, I guess.
But yet, unfortunately, here we are.
But yet, I don't mind it.
And he just turns and walks down into the cafe. The first private conversation you have had with Reese.
I was like, as I go right back to the paper, I'm like, her frustration kind of makes me happy, actually. I guess.
So you all forget this is kind of how she used to treat all of you. Like, it's been a while.
She used to try to kill us.
Yeah, a couple times that happened. Just,
Can't we just put that behind us?
Water under the proverbial bridge.
I mean, she literally almost killed EZ.
She tried. She
You
tried
felt
real
even
hard.
harder.
Called a
in
hit
love.
out on me.
Pinned him up against the wall and almost.
You just slid the dagger right into his heart.
To death.
To death.
Yeah, well,
Violently.
usually it tends to be.
The three of you, my fellas at the table here, go ahead and roll your d20s to see if you can get any stress recovery.
I got a 14.
Do I add anything to it?
You do not. Flat check.
Oh, not bad.
The
Not
wrong
13.
way.
It's good.
Wrong way.
Oh, wrong way.
Hey,
Let's make
hey,
it better,
hey, hey.
I got an 18,
Oh, you guys are all solid.
Big money.
and we all lied.
So
Whoa.
Why would I lie about a 14?
everyone recovering some stress today with a calm day on the water, and indeed, as the day passes to the evening and the sun sets, nothing really happens. The senator and his retainers do somewhat swiftly acclimate to their situation. They just know they're on their way to meet the Stardust Augurs, this strange group that had sent him this missive, that sent him on the lam, and they don't, interestingly enough, have any real knowledge or plans for that. It becomes readily apparent upon talking to the senator that he does not know where the Stardust Augurs are. All he knows
Oh, good.
I mean,
is that they said to travel down the river and that they would make their presence known with the lights among the trees.
spooky.
Say that one more time, for
Tra-
it sounds important.
Traveling on the river by presence known lights on trees.
Maybe slow.
Travel down river,
Nice.
presence known,
Presents, no.
lights on trees.
Lights
It's Christmas time.
Can you say it
Oh my
as like a
gosh,
haiku? Can you say it as a
Christmas.
haiku?
He has
It's nearly.
no knowledge beyond that. This missive he got from the Augurs was very brief and lacking in detail, but they had told him that were he not to flee from Galt, he would certainly not survive to see the new moon. And with how quickly he was set upon by Grey Gardeners after that, that much seemed to very much be true. So he, from what passing conversations you have with him, is of the inclination that these are some kind of fortune tellers, fate weavers, diviners of some sort. But again, really nothing else he knows about them. And neither, this is not me prodding you to make knowledge checks, it's certainly nothing that any of you would have heard of either. But the day passes without incident. And as you awaken, I'm assuming that, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm assuming Cammy wants to get slightly lower than this before you foray back into the dream again, seeing as the six-sided dream sequence that happened last time you tried to go on a simple adventure.
I'm trying to make shoelaces. That was the first project that I ever learned. Okay, because I crochet.
Okay.
Obviously, we have
Yes.
these. That was the first
Well, I
project.
thought it was funny to have Racy bring you the news.
Yeah, which is, yes. Now everybody understands. But that is the first project that at least I learned how to do because it just involves one stitch and one row. You don't have to like stack on it. You don't have to like turn around. You just
Ta-da.
make a shoelace.
I did it.
It's a children's crochet book.
She was like 17.
No,
What's-
no, that's
19.
slander.
What's the plastic piece? A culet? Is that the plastic?
Aglet.
Aglet, thank you.
Oh, on the shoelace,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you put that on the end of yours as well?
No.
Wow.
You think
thanks.
they give
I could've.
aglets? You think they give aglets to children?
The 17-year-olds? No.
I could have taped it, maybe. That's about
You have to
the same
be at
thing.
least
Doesn't
18.
really
You
sound
awaken the following morning after what surely is a very long-awaited night of actual rest. Normal, regular sleep.
I hadn't even thought about that.
So a morning like any other. Sun rising over the trees, the side of the river, another day ahead of you. You would, again, have startlingly little to do. There's no research to pursue. There's nothing else to investigate. some point you'll want to return to the dream and meet with the mad poet and see what you can do, but I imagine the thought of that fills the group of you, I'm going to guess, probably with at least equal parts excitement and absolute abject terror.
Trepidation.
Trepidation's a good word.
That's your 5-cent word of the day.
But with the day, there's really nothing going on. There's nothing to do but relax. Everybody roll me another stress check.
Seems nearly suspicious.
This can't make it worse. This is just, you're just resting.
Even on a
That's
one?
good.
Yeah, like there's not a critical fail on this. Like it doesn't. You actually had a really bad day and your stress goes up from chilling.
I mean,
Like,
sometimes.
there's a critical success, but there's not a critical fail on this.
It's like random bladder infection just happens or something.
You catch a cold, it's just miserable. All
Ah,
All right,
man.
roll a d100.
right, Marius.
16.
11.
13. Yes.
I had a 1.
And then a 1. So
He
yours
actually
doesn't go
breaks.
down, but you immediately break. It madness. Yours doesn't go down, but it doesn't get worse. Though the land next to you looks like the terrain, the geography doesn't really change. As the river continues down through into the evening, the settlements start to a little bit. These frequent small fishing, not even towns, but just like individual fishing huts and fields of Galton crops start to give way to new nations. To the west, to your right bank, where was once the dense Veruden forest, the lands of the ancestral lands of the elves here, where you didn't really see anything for the past couple of weeks, just walls of trees, finally begin to drop with a fairly sizable port city. There's no need to stock and restock and repair or anything here. Skywind isn't planning on stopping. This last section of the voyage will be passing by dozens of larger and larger port towns as we move from the border between Keonan and Galt to the border between Taldor and Andoran. We are now finally in the correct country. And again, this might be a week out from the port city of Cassomir.
We're just dropping off Amilo, whatever the heck the guy's name is.
At some point,
He's just outside of where they were.
he
'cause
does
that's where
bring
they're
up
wanted.
that you are out of Galt now. You are just
out of the
past the border,
jurisdiction.
but down the river to him is really giving him the idea that he would like to stay on the boat until he has found these mysterious
Christmas
augurs.
trees.
But comes to the agreement with Captain Freeling that if by the time Cassomir has been reached, there's been no sign of them, he will gladly disembark in a major port city and take his chances there. He doesn't, though he is a little trepidatious, he doesn't really think, hopefully, that Grey Gardeners are going to follow him to Taldor and strike him down the streets. And he doesn't want to be a burden to his saviors any longer than he needs to.
Crazier things have happened.
Another day passes.
I think for just describing a little bit for today, I think Marius is still just kind of giving MD and Cammy their own space to kind of process this. Doesn't really see a need to really try to pry how things had gone today. And since he had already kind of done fishing the previous day, he's mostly just focusing on like equipment care, doing things like actually
You can actually maintain, like, properly prepare your things.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like actually like wow, we haven't really had the time to like do maintenance and just
really deep clean the blood out of
sure
one of your
things are
bones.
not breaking and taking care of everything.
It feels weird at this point in Strange Aeons, just like stepping back to just kind of hand wave through days.
Right.
Because there has never been a point in as long as you two can literally remember
Yup.
where you just had nothing that immediately needed doing.
Right after we killed Mellison. For about a week.
That's true, actually, because there was a minor time skip between book 2 and 3 where we just kind of jumped forward a week
week or
waiting.
two,
It was
yeah.
a week or two waiting for the ship to come pick you up, or waiting for Skywind to arrive. You did just have kind of some downtime in Thrushmoor, but like it's weird to not have 100 things we have to do and like this looming threat. I mean, there is a little bit of the looming.
Yeah.
We gotta go meet this mad poet. You do know you have to go back to the dream, but you have to just go back to the caravanserai to meet with the King of Yellow, who you love. You love the King of Yellow.
Yeah.
He's such an intelligent man.
He's so smart with his big words.
He's so smart all the time.
That looked like the face of someone who just remembered he existed.
Yeah. No, not quite.
That was forced to confront the fact that you are almost definitely going to have to interact with him again.
Hi. Oh my gosh.
Hey, there's more Sullivans in the world. Look
There's
at this.
Sullivan here.
Coming out.
Oh my gosh, hello.
But a day passes. Do you wish to return to the dream tonight? Or you want to give it?
No, let's not do that.
You don't want to get a little past the 50-50
Let's, like,
marker?
really not
Okay.
do that,
All right. Another night of regular sleep. Again.
I do, with the people that we have on board, at one point, kind of keep a percentage eye on them, making sure they're not up to any kind of shenanigans. You know, want to make sure that...
The senator and his retainers do, on this second day, having kind of gotten used to how this is going to go, largely sort of keep to themselves.
Yeah.
They've got their own section, like they just took a corner. They've kind of all set up in a corner of the cabin together. The senator sleeping in the one available bunk, and his 3 retainers just kind of curled up on the floor. That's just a logistics problem. It's not a passenger ship. There's not really a lot of space for passengers.
3 corners. There's 4 corners in this cabin. We have one. The 2 scholars have one because no one talks to them.
Right.
And then we
Yikes.
The senator's got one.
And then the other one's the door to Skywind's cabin.
Yes. So
I want to believe like the senators, like what do you say, servants or
I'm gonna go with retainers, but
Retainers,
they're servants.
that's
Yeah,
what- I forgot
that's
the
what they
word.
are. They're his house
but
servants.
the retainers. Like I want they're like curled up like kittens.
That's,
so they, like, sit
that's
on
more
top of each
dignified,
other.
the retainer rather than the humble servant, the noble retainer. That's, I guess the difference is whether you like get to wear fancy clothes and work in the senator's house, or whether you like sweep the kitchen and you go through the passages so that none of the guests have to bear the indignity of seeing you. Like that's servant versus retainer in my mind. When you get down to like the feudal level. But yeah, they don't really. You can keep an eye on them. They don't seem to be doing anything. You don't get that.
I think also every once in a while I'd
anything
have like
nefarious
small
there.
talk with the senator. I'd also, I would talk to him as well.
Somebody's got.
He does have a lot. I mean, he's got a lot of stories. He's not an old man,
Yeah.
but he is probably in his late 40s. And being a Galton senator, he's seen like a lot of things. And he's from a country several nations away from where you live, so it's just like a different place.
Yeah, and he seems like, higher up in society, so I was, I'll
He's got
share the pipe with him a little
interesting
bit,
tales, for sure.
things like that.
You get to sleep another peaceful, restful night and awaken on another perfectly normal day.
Oh my gosh. That's so nice. That's crazy.
This is what Strange Aeons has done to these people. It's just like you go to sleep, you wake up, and nothing horrible happened. Is like
That's a win.
a
I don't think
refreshing
that's
revelation.
Really happened in like.
This is
How long have we been doing Strange Aeons? Like a year
Lovecraft.
and a half?
It's like
One more
A
night
year?
of going to bed and nothing happening, we'll start gaining stress because we'll start
The
worrying.
worst-
Bro, we'll be like, what's good?
I don't like how
worst
good
day
things
of-
are going.
the worst day of Marius's life was the moment we found him in the asylum.
Yeah, it is about the time when everything started going.
You know
down.
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I don't know. I think the worst day of his life might have been the day before that,
Where he decided to go to the asylum?
seeing as
Oh.
that was the collapse. That
Or
was
maybe
pretty bad.
The day a couple of days after that where he died and then came
That's true.
back
He
as a
did then
ghoul.
proceed to get murdered a couple of
But
days
it was
later.
just a really
that was also
bad
pretty
week.
If he would
bad.
have just stayed
It was his
hidden,
worst week for sure. I'll
Yeah.
definitely give you week.
Yeah.
stay hidden in the debris and everything would have been fine.
Maybe the day
Would
he,
it
the
have?
first
I
time
mean,
he ate a
actually, no. It
corpse,
literally
almost
would
got
have.
caught.
If they had never found Marius,
Everything would have been. He would have either.
when they went through and they fought up back to Tatterman and they got out of the asylum, you would have just left with everybody else and
Yeah.
just been like, "Well, that sucked," and went home. Like, you
Yeah.
could have lived a normal normal life.
That was rough. Yeah.
All you had to do was not meet the protagonists, you fool. How do you not know the rules? Do you see her hair? It is bright pink and purple. That is a main character. Do not interact with that.
Once we find the thing that lets us like, find the thing that lets us like travel back in time, I'll be sure to like go back and be like, don't talk to them, and
All
then I
the
can just
signs
write
were
my.
He's gonna warn young, like, child Marius, if you see a gnome with bright pink hair,
That's your
ignore.
comeback from the future. It's me, Marius from the future.
Don't go with the gnome. I got no time to explain. Bye.
It all depends on what kind of time travel you're doing, though, because then you actually wouldn't have done it already if
It's actually in his
if
notes.
it is in the future.
Oh boy.
What's the?
Marius like, I have a feeling I shouldn't go with this gnome.
Anyway.
Oh well.
Anyway,
Was the fixed point? Do not interact. What is it?
fixed point of the timeline. You awaken on another morning to another normal day.
I feel like Cammy would have woken up a little bit earlier this morning. Starting to, I don't know if like get the pep back in her step is the right word, but
I mean,
a little
8
bit.
down
for
to
sure.
5 is a
At the
significant
very
amount of
least,
pep return
yeah.
to the step.
I mean, well, and a distraction is a huge, like, we've never experienced we've never devoted our time to any other activity outside of these tasks in front of us. So having, like, something to do, just seems to be really helpful. I think that everybody else would find her up earlier, kind of like with the covers over her head and, like, the little upper hammock, and you just hear, like, kind of
And-
whirring of yarn.
You hear like hammering and buzzsaws.
Yeah,
over
right,
her
yeah, for
blanket.
some reason.
And when Cammy wakes up, she actually sees MD on the floor, like sleeping closer to. He's gotten out of his bunk and has gone over to the floor and sleeping next to her bunk.
Oh.
He usually wakes up before everyone else, so no one noticed it the night before. Yeah, he wakes up right after Reese does.
Can I,
That rogue training.
I went to just sort of peek out of my covers for a second. Are you awake?
Sleeping.
Psst, psst. I'm gonna throw a shoelace. Just sort of over
It just sort of drifts.
and I go
just-
back.
Is that Maglet?
Are you awake?
Yes, I am now.
Oh, okay, that's for you.
Thanks. Just holding it. What is it?
It's a shoelace.
Shoes already have laces.
Okay. I just thought it's kind of the only thing that I know how to make right now. And then I'm gonna produce like 6 more shoelaces. So like, please tell me that you need more. Does somebody need them?
I'm sure we could use them.
Okay. You should have 2. That was stupid. Oh.
So Reginald, he throughout the night, because he's curled up like a fox, but he actually has like a notebook right in the middle of his
dream
as
log.
he's curled up. So every once in a while he might wake up and just kind of jot down notes and things like that.
Literally dream log. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like kind of like dream log.
It's like having
Exactly.
a waterproof thing in your shower, like a waterproof notebook that you write in your shower for all your shower thoughts.
And
be
just
smart.
as that whole like slight ear kind of twitching of that happening, like I could use shoelaces.
For real? Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes, I could.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
There you
thank
go.
you. Yes. I like to keep them. Oh, these actually aren't that bad.
Don't just say that.
There you
Don't
go.
just say that.
I will put them on right now.
Thank you.
Yep. You're making this weirder than what it has to be. I
Okay,
don't do well
sorry.
with emotions.
Out of wanting to be supportive, Marius could take one and
Yes!
and restring his vest with the shoelace.
He does.
instead.
Good, you look
Does he
good.
wear
Just a
shoes?
slightly longer one. I've got to wear shoes.
You wear shoes on your little ghoul feet.
They're probably like
you got, like, talons,
they're
right?
like the
You got-
ghoul equivalent of those like toe shoes because you got to be able to like get all over.
Yeah,
Oh,
like a-
no.
I guess the
You
question.
got
What did you
talons,
say?
so like I don't think you can wear regular shoes.
Sandals. Then.
You got I guess you got like
The
flip flops.
dogs are out.
So here's the
The
thing.
dogs are out.
The question for me is like, whenever I'm in my fox form, I have fox feet.
You got okay. So yeah.
But
probably not-
whenever I change into my human form, do I then get shoes?
No.
Well, so here's the thing. Normally,
Someone, like,
when you
barefoot whenever I change to my-
transform from a humanoid form to a humanoid form,
It's Foxfoot.
your clothes resize with you usually. So
Is that the
I don't
only
know
thing
if
that
that
happens?
means
So I'm
your
like-
shoes get comically long.
It's like Hulk rules.
Well,
It's
yeah,
Hulk
listen,
rules.
People always have
Like-
pants. Like
It's like Puss in Boots boots. They're just regular people boots on a fox. It just looks funny.
They're just because he's just got like little fox
turn
paws,
into thigh highs.
big old
That's
boots.
it. That's what that means.
With boots.
Little fox leg, big old boots.
Based off of what I was creating and what I've seen, like as the examples of things, I was like, I don't think I wear shoes until I'm a person. And then it's like I have to like carry shoes in my bag.
You gotta change.
You're going to the gym.
I'm gonna leave that to you. I'm gonna leave that up to you. Whether you like,
I'm gonna think,
whether you
like,
carry around a
if I
change
can
of
magically
shoes.
Heaven
change
forbid
my whole
AJ
body.
dictates your shoes or not.
I'm not gonna dictate like how you
Okay.
Nobody
How you keep your
governs
Crocs.
your
You
personal
can-
dogs
yeah.
except for you.
If I magically
bag,
can change my whole body, my
morphing
clothes
shoes,
change.
funny, comically oversized boots. You do you.
Foxes
And what
on
happened? You
fox.
tell us.
It's fox
Foxes
feet,
aren't
and then when I
fox.
change to a person, then I have like these like nicer, sleek black shoes.
You just have shoes.
they just happen.
They just phase into your body while you're a fox.
Sure.
It's-
Yeah. I mean, kind of like
Why
everything
not?
else.
With that sound, just do a little. And then suddenly there's your shoes on your feet.
Yeah.
It's like-
Is it the craziest thing in the world to think about in this
Yeah.
world?
That's what happened to Cinderella.
that's.
Ow.
Yep. That's.
Is that what?
I don't know. Maybe that's not offensive. I don't know. Anyways, thanks.
Shoelaces.
Shoelaces for everyone, and another
Reginald wears Crocs.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
day.
I think Marius is definitely like the dad sandals, like the Velcro ones that really go over, but like your toes.
Have we invented Velcro and Galarian?
Well,
I'll
not
get right
Velcro,
on
but like
board.
that style where it's like the couple straps, like
Oh,
not,
I
not
see.
like
So you got, like,
flip
I see
flops,
what you
but like
mean.
the
Okay.
ones where it's really
They're strapped in.
yeah, strapped in,
Just
but
locked
with
in.
toes, but with all of the talons
This is
out.
too long of a shoe tangent. Roll your stress.
This is what happens when you don't give us
I'm
anything
cutting
to
off
do.
the shoe tangent.
We have a good time when we talk about shoes.
It's been like
shoes-
5
The shoe
minutes.
tangent.
Shoe talk has
I
helped.
got MD got a gift from Cammy. That makes him the happiest little boy ever. I rolled a 20.
Where'd your die go?
I took it away because I'm sad.
Oh, okay.
The shoes were great, apparently.
I got 17.
Welcome back to 0. Welcome back to 0.
14. It's just one.
I rolled a 9.
I mean, you're doing all right. Anyway.
Okay.
You're not that bad.
You weren't as bad as Cammy was.
Wow, this is a clean board. Look at this. We got 3 at 0, and we got 2 very low. We're mopping it up here.
3-0.
Technically 3. We got.
We don't know where Trey is, but he's at 0 wherever he is.
He's doing so great.
He's
Somewhere I
fine.
know Trey is.
He's
doing
fine.
great.
Trey's fine. What's the worst that could have happened? He just got touched by a weird lemur made of space that we've already established can put people in interdimensional jail. It's fine.
It's your fault.
What's my fault?
MD for hitting 0 stress, a hero point from a sane 221. And as this day again passes the morning into the day, into the sunset, with nothing going wrong, no events, nothing strange befalls you,
Strange.
nothing happens, nothing Aeons befalls you either,
Oh.
no monsters,
That's really good.
no pirates.
Protect the innocent. I can't save everyone, but I can save you.
You just write MD on the top of that card. That's exactly what it is.
She's not innocent.
But as the sun has set and the last vestiges of that red and purple light is sort of sinking down below the horizon, you're sailing through one of the many wooded passages of the area. The forest has kind of jumped sides. On your right side, for the last week or so, you've had Keonan, the elven homeland, to the untrained eye, or even to the relatively trained eye, from the water, just looks like an absolutely untamed forest. And on your left, you had Galt. Now that you've passed that, on your right, you have Andoran, a very trade-heavy city. The river has widened. You are passing frequently ships that are significantly larger than yours, and what looks like almost daily continuous just ports down the side. And the untamed complete wall of forest has jumped to the left side of the river, because that is the Veruden Forest, a massive wood that occupies a large amount of northwestern Taldor, the place where this is just a random bit of fun fact trivia, my first ever Pathfinder adventure took place because Dragon's Demand is in a small settlement inside the Veruden forest, or very close to it. It is not unsettled, but it is a huge and incredibly thick wood, and Taldor doesn't really have any major ports before Cassomir passes. That's how big it is. Most of the rest of this week is just sailing past the Veruden forest. It's humongous. But again, not unsettled.
Where's everybody at on the boat?
At this point, whoever would happen to be on the deck at this point would see a couple pale globes of light slowly drifting amongst the trees at the water's edge. A variety of blues, purples, and pale whites.
Is it the same edge? Like, are there settlements on both sides of the river?
No, the Veruden forest on the left, you haven't seen any. There's no ports over there yet.
Hey.
It's too kind of overgrown and thick.
Captain. Count.
I sees them.
I think that's where we're headed.
I can't think any better of it. And can't say I've seen anything like that before. I've sailed these waters, I don't know how many times in the years I've been doing this. Fetch the senator, see what he thinks, I suppose.
I'll do just that.
Brought up on deck, Senator Daldemain immediately would see these, and his eyes would just go wide. Oh, yes! Yes! That must be exactly what they were referring to. What else could that possibly be? These lights floating amongst the trees down the river, further than I had hoped to expect, but somehow simultaneously not quite far enough past the Galton borders for me to feel entirely safe. But what else could that be?
Could be ghosts.
Possibly, but I choose to look on the bright side of things here. This must be the augurs. Probably. Or ghosts.
Or ghosts of the augurs.
Could I petition you just one final time to render me aid should it be necessary if this is, hypothetically, ghosts or something ill of this Veruden wood here? I find myself very unprepared to, well, really defend myself from many of the strange things I've heard could lurk within these woods. But you slew a Grey Gardener and her retinue. You're capable sorts.
His people that serve him or him, they have no weapons or anything?
They have a couple little knives that they look like they just found in a kitchen.
I hand him my old crossbow.
Yes, that's an excellent weapon of the people.
Don't aim
this.
that.
And
do you know how to use that?
He's kind of holding it in both hands.
So, okay.
Whoa.
No, wait, hold on. Does anybody
We'll
think
accompany him, Reginald.
Yeah, I understand, but still, even after we
Don't hand him a weapon. It's like handing a child a sword.
can you
I am perfectly somewhat capable
Aim that
at
down.
sword
You're
play.
aiming it at people.
I
aim it down? There
is
you
it
go.
is it loaded?
Just clip it on your belt. Just put
What
it on
part of it clips onto the belt?
It
Just
just,
show
you
me.
know,
Look-
there's a. You don't have that. Okay.
You take a moment to help the senator at least to get a small quiver of hand bolts, and less a quiver and more just a kind of a handful of them in his pocket.
Yeah.
And his hand crossbow at his side, which he still just kind of
And if we have a few minutes, I'll even show him how to aim it.
carries it
a little
like
bit.
he's a squire getting ready to present
Stop
it to
carrying
his
it like
king.
that. No, be more confident as you're holding it.
And the group of you, I assume all of you are probably going. Reese recommends the same thing. Don't know what this is. Skywind and her will stay back on the ship in case. The group of you head down and see if this is the augurs or whatever is going on. And the group of you, once again, drop off into the water and make your way ashore. It is dark. It's not pitch black. I don't believe any of you have worse than low light vision. Do you consider they have low light, or are you on regular eyeballs? You got people eyes over there?
Hey, what's your eyes?
Solid question. I think I see everything.
The omni-sight is what we call that.
It should be under senses, underneath your perception.
I believe
He's low light.
you have low light. I don't think any
Low
of
light
you.
vision.
I think we have dark vision,
vision.
low light
light.
is what we have, right? So the waning light doesn't really bother any of you. It's so funny. Again, brief aside, it's literally like just humans that don't have low light
And
vision. Or halflings, which are just half humans.
And
That's what I thought. So
No, he got you there.
It's really like it is the great sandbag tied around. The concept of having to deal with low light is like almost exclusively a human problem in Pathfinder because they hand out low light and dark vision to absolutely everybody else.
Think leshies.
Okay, the shrub can't see great either. It's not supposed to have eyes. The group of you go ashore.
They're core now, so you can't talk that way to them.
Dang it. They got goblined. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it, but I do. I like leshies. Leshies are great.
Oh. Nope, I was wrong.
Nope, they got low light.
Rip.
Not leshies either.
Oh.
How does it feel to get roasted?
I love leshies. So that makes me happy.
Come ashore, and as soon as you have pulled yourself up out of the water onto the bank here near the trees, you see a figure, a woman, standing in a surprisingly colorful blue and silver cloak about her body, just up the embankment, hands folded in front of her. She looks older, maybe in her 60s, with mostly gray hair, somewhat rough and loose, pulled back into the fairly common get out of my way bun that so many people in Galarian that don't really care for fashion just sort of default to. But her face is kind, her eyes upturned as she looks down at you, specifically at Senator Daldemain. Oh, you have received our message and deigns to come. Welcome, Emilio Daldemain. We will provide you safety within. And I suppose thank you to you as well that escort him. Quite a number of you. And she looks across the 7 of you that are with him, because with his retainers, there's 8 of you on the shore here. And Daldemain, soaking wet from yet another plunge in the river, because we've only got that one lifeboat, really, and Skywind's really resistant to using it as a jetty. Kind of stands up and literally tries to squeeze out his jacket and his sleeves a little bit, taking an awkwardly long time to make himself look a little bit more presentable, so he feels, but not really. Yes, I thank you for your word. I had, were it not for your untimely intervention, I would have been caught completely unawares by the fickle and ever-changing whims of, not so much the people of Galt, but the body that now represents them. To who do I owe my thanks? And she's still standing there, pretty much motionless, watching all of this. Just nods her head. Adrana Ebron, you all may follow me briefly, if you please. And she turns and just heads into the woods. As she moves, the globes of light start to recede back to the trees with her, illuminating the forest around her and casting a litany of shadows amongst the color of these lights, dancing throughout the trees and the boughs.
As we are moving forward, can Marius see, looking around, is there anybody lurking, hiding behind anything? Do I see anything suspicious?
What are you all doing as you move through the woods here, my friend? Are you seeking or scouting?
I think seeking.
It could be either, really. So you're really trying to see if there is anybody waiting to jump you again.
Is there a way I could change one of these? Because I could have 2 pursue the lead or whatever. Can I change one of them to whatever's happening here?
Changing a lead takes 10 minutes, so you need a break to do that.
Could I have done that just before I got on the boat? We had 3 days.
As,
yeah, as we saw them coming up.
You could have a lead be the Stardust Augurs. That would be logical. You
know
that's a thing that's possibly coming. So what are your 2 leads right now? Stardust Augurs and
always Laos.
Cal Laos.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the 3 you doing?
I am keeping an eye out for potential danger too, so seeking.
2 seekers.
Investigating. Taking in the pretty lights.
Thinking with your brain.
Yeah, I'm walking with was it Amelia?
Emilio Daldemain.
Yeah, I'm kind of walking somewhat around, with him, and even actually, we left a piece of lint on his jacket, and I got that off. He's supposed to look prestige, he is.
You would make a great retainer.
As the group of you move, then Cammy, as you are thinking here, this is a low level enough effect that it's very easy. I'm not going to make you roll for it. These globes that are just hovering through the air here are just a simple dancing light spell. And as they are being moved alongside Miss Ebrin here, it seems relatively obvious that it's her magic that is floating on, just to both signal to you and is illuminating the path, or lack thereof, through the woods. The trek here is perhaps a little bit longer than you expect. You walk for a few minutes and then a few more, and after a while you feel like you've made your way at least a mile through this forest. There is no trail, but though the forest is dense, you're led through a path that's oddly easy to traverse. It's not something you would easily be able to just pick out or see when you're not being led through it, but it's almost as if the forest itself is simply allowing you to pass. Do you continue?
Have I heard of like forests that like move and do things like that? Like what is...
You hear a lot of sounds around you. The wind through the boughs of many trees.
I'm thinking of like old stories or something about like an alive forest.
The cries of night birds and creatures skittering about in the darkness. There is a lot of life in the woods, to be certain, but you don't hear anything ostensibly out of the ordinary. And
But you were saying like the path is being made in front of us, basically. As we're
it's
going?
nothing is like moving. It's just, well, it's not a trail. It's a very oddly easy path to follow. Normally, picking your way through woods this thick would slow you down significantly, but it really doesn't. It's surprisingly easygoing, exactly how you're led.
It's like the forest where there's like no shrubbery. It's just like tall trees, and so you can kind of just walk without.
There is still a lot of shrubbery, just none of it happening to be in your way.
Yeah. Is it her doing it, or is it...
If she's doing anything, it's not obvious.
Yeah,
And she
okay.
hasn't really said anything that
It's
you're
just a
walking.
path.
She's just ahead of you, leading you.
Do we keep going?
I'm down to continue.
Yeah,
It makes me stay cautious.
keep going.
But yes.
A mile and another, before finally, after nearly half an hour of traversing through the woods, the trees start to open up into a clearing. And in this clearing, you see several more figures clad much the same way as Ebrin is. These blue and silver cloaks, and this opening of the woods open to the night sky above. The moon hanging almost perfectly overhead in a crescent and stars dotted all around it, illuminating this area with more light than it feels like it really should. There are what appear to be a couple of scattered shrines throughout the area, but they are very simple works of stone. Obelisks, monoliths, and carved frescoes making up the majority of the area. This is a church or a temple of sorts, just out in the woods. And it is the home of the Stardust Daughters. One of the figures out in the area is dressed a little bit differently than the rest of them. It is a man that wears no cloak, but instead, well, not the same cloak, instead just a kind of dark green traveler's robe that's draped across his back in simple leather armor. And as the group of you come in, these lights, one by one, winking out as you make your way into the light of the clearing. And he turns and has a face that two of you recognize. A man that was a fair bit more disheveled the last time you saw him. The big smile and a raised hand, Nestor Bindley,
Oh my god.
comes hurrying over. The man that you saved from the fairies in one of your first dream journeys.
The Druid man.
Here in the
Well,
physical
he kind of saved us.
world. It's a little of both.
A little of both.
He was kind of tied to a leaf when you met him.
Let's be fair.
Is
That
that
was
also,
wrong.
is that
Oh
also
my
supposed to be an
gosh.
average-looking man?
I forgot.
Average looking guy.
always.
I forgot. It kind of looks like a blonde Shaggy.
He just looks
He
like
does.
Shaggy.
I think the
Yeah,
green
yeah,
shirt
yeah,
adds a
Shaggy.
lot to that.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all! What do you know? Here we are in the flesh in the proper world. Oh, at least where our bodies are supposed to be. How you been?
Awful.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate to hear. I've had a couple of weeks. It's been, what, a month? A little more since I saw you?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I didn't.
We've been going back in and out of the dreams, and it just gets progressively worse what we see.
You certainly don't expect to see somebody that you met in the dream, though, out here.
Hey, well, here you are. I mean, when we talked about it back then, I told you I was making my way to the same place that you were, it sounded. we were both heading down to Taldor, and here we are. Truth be told, I sort of looked around a little bit, and I'm familiar with these folk. I'm not one of them, but I'd spoke with them before. And Miss Ebrin here told me that, they expected you, but not all of you. I wasn't entirely sure what that meant, but I'm not one to spit in the whims of fate. And I figured I'd spend a week or two waiting here until you arrived. And well, what do you know? Here you are. Their auguries are rarely wrong. They're called that for a reason, I suppose.
Apparently.
Expecting us, but not all of us?
Well, you don't have... Well, you were a different group than you were last time I met you.
We're missing
There were...
Easy and Trey.
That's it. You had the Hobgoblin, and Easy was his name, was the other fella.
Yeah.
And I don't recognize these two. But
Right.
sounds like you've had quite a few weeks on the water, and I don't even claim to begin to know what you folk get up to.
It's been
Well, come on in.
a very long journey.
That's rather incredible. But it's good to see you again.
Well, I weren't lying. I told you I think we were in much the same situation. I was traveling up to look into things much the same way that you were. I never did find that Bricks lady I was looking for, by the way. But I haven't heard much about her since then, so either she's gone to ground, she's laying low, or, well, hells, maybe those fairies got a hold of her before they got me. I don't know. Anything's possible.
Bricks lady?
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Nestor Benlay, by the way. I'm
Reginald.
a sorcerer of sorts. But I met your two friends here back in the Dreamlands. We all set our minds up there, astral projecting kind of thing.
I've been.
And you do the same.
Yes,
All right. Well,
with them, yes.
suppose we all got something in common here. You too?
Yeah, I'm Marius. You look kind of familiar. I can't remember. I may have met you before the end of the one time, or you might be mistaking it for somebody else. I feel like.
He just kind of glances up at your hat. And like, I don't exactly remember, but did you look like this last time we would have met?
Maybe it may have been a little different. Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
I don't know. Either way, pleasure to meet you. Haven't met before. And nice to see you again, those that I have. Anyway, I was off looking for it was just a Chelish game hunter who was stalking across plains trying to take down some stuff. It's really better left alone. They get to a point, really, where... I mean, hunting's hunting. It's the bounty of the land, and it's understandable, but... You're doing it for need and doing it for sport are different things. And I mean, I'm not even really looking to yuck anyone's yum on that front. But when you're going after beasts that kind of, hold ecosystems together, or
Sure.
really
Right,
staples
yeah,
of
I
regions,
understand
and figures that deserve better. Well, I was just trying to put a stop to it. Really, I wasn't gonna kill her or nothing. I wasn't looking to strike her down. But
Quite noble of you of some sort, I guess.
well, given the resources that she's got, I'm not sure if I could. I would be able to if I could, but I was hoping with some of my magic, maybe I might be able to at least seal her out of a couple dimensions. At least keep her here in the material plane,
Right.
if possible.
Right.
I don't know what kind of magi she's got with her. Anyway, like I said, never caught up with her. Water under the bridge, and we're talking about the past now. But I never got to thank you two personally, and well, you maybe for helping me out back there. Now, I brought you a couple of things, and at this point, you see that. While you were walking over following Benlay here, the lady that led you all here has taken Daldemain and his retainers off to a different part of the clearing. Your group is kind of split at this point. And Benlay's led you over to a pretty big stone arch that's very... The shape of the arch itself is strangely rough and crude for how intricate and detailed the carvings are upon its face. And it looks like it is a bunch of incantations, constellations, and names. Any of you even trained in religion would immediately recognize this as icons of Desnan worship, which would fit in with the blue and white gowns that most of the Stardust Augurs are wearing. She is the goddess of dreams, the stars, the night sky. These Augurs are clearly Desnan clerics or druids or something, whatever exactly they are. But he's not going necessarily to the arch itself, but just underneath it to a small collection of bags and clothes and a simple tent that's currently folded up that all looks to be his stuff. That starts rifling through it, looking for things. And he pulls out a couple. He said, well, now that I can meet you right in the flesh, I could give you a couple of these. I don't know what exactly those Fae intended for me up there, but whether it would have killed me or not, they would have thought it was a laugh. I guess necessarily know if you saved my life, but as close as you can get without definitely doing it, and maybe you did. And hey, I'm looking to lighten some of my load anyway. Here. And he hands you in one hand a handful of small rune stones. 4 of them. And in his other hand, a white ash wooden wand tipped with a very small little round crystal. You don't need to roll to identify any of this, because Benlay will just tell you what they are.
I love having the guy who's giving us just give us the instruction manuals.
Oh, God.
These are 4 +2 armor runes. And a relatively interesting wand. This wand does 2 things when used. The first is that it casts a 4th level Soothe.
Ooh.
And the second is that it then attempts to cast a 5th level Cleanse Affliction on the same target. Cleanse Affliction.
Oh my goodness.
It's 1 cast. It's Soothe and Cleanse Affliction.
That's insane.
A what level cleanse
A
affliction?
5th level Cleanse Affliction.
Oh,
Cleanse
that's-
Affliction will attempt to counteract any disease, poison, or curse on the target.
Yes, thank you.
We need that.
Oh, where were you? We all caught this terrible flu.
Now, you know how wands work, right? You can use the magic in the wand once a day, just boop, no problem. You can attempt to use it a second time, but you need to make a flat check. And if you fail, the wand is destroyed forever.
What's a flat check?
It's 50-50. It's DC 11.
Bad. So 11.
Breaking
There's
case
no,
of
you don't
emergency.
add Arcana or anything to that?
Flat check. It's just a coin flip.
Okay.
If you succeed and it doesn't break, you can use it a 3rd time, but it will break.
Oh, okay.
Period. 3rd use is guaranteed destroyed. And this is not like for the day, this is it is destroyed. So it is at a moment of incredible need if
Which
you're
will
pulling
never
into the
happen.
2 and the 3.
Yeah, when was
Guys,
the last
it'll
time?
never happen.
I mean, I think I could get rid of fear and stuff like that. What does that thing do again?
It takes
Diseases,
someone's
poisons,
curse.
and curses.
Oh, I might be able to help with that.
Fear's a poison, right?
Fear's the poison of the mind.
The poison of
It's a
the
good,
heart.
it's a good tool. It's a good tool to have.
And then 4 +2 armor runestones, which I'm not sure any of you have at all, actually.
Don't
I don't
think
think I
so.
have
I just have
armor.
No.
normal studded armor. That's all I have.
So, with a day spent moving those over onto your armor, that's just going to be +1 AC to everybody once you get those put on.
Yeah. Once we get them put on.
Everybody.
Once we
We
get
just
them
all
put on.
add.
I assume it's 4. I assume you
Yeah.
have 4 of stones and 4 use. I just kind of assume you would all use one.
I put 2.
Wait, it's a +1 to everybody?
Well, because I assume you've all got +1 armor.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a +1 cloak.
Yeah. Yeah. But you have
Yeah, it's
Lucy's
just
cloak.
traveler's clothes, so
Yes.
you can use it to make it a
Yeah.
+2 cloak.
It's +2.
Because it's functionally going to be +1, because I'm, again, assuming you've all got +1 armor.
So you're just basically
Yeah.
taking our armor class and going up 1?
Yes.
Numbers.
Did not register that. You said 4.
We
I
should
was
be-
so
we
enamored
should
by
be
the
at 30.
wand.
I'm at 30.
Yeah. We should be at 30. She's, I think, 2 or 3
No,
lower than
of
us.
course we are all at 30.
Yeah,
right?
we're all at 30.
We're all of an
what?
equal value.
I'm at 31, and this will be 32.
Ranger. I don't.
We're
Are you
all
really?
in the 30s, right?
This character sheet says 31.
What the heck? AC's huge.
Base 3.
We're level 11 now.
You are level 11, but that's
You got 3 from item. No?
he's got huge AC.
You can
He's
check my math
invincible.
later.
Yeah, well, math
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
My math, and by my math, I mean what the
Oh,
app
he's
told me.
expert. He's expert in.
Oh, he went up. He's an armor proficiency above you
Yeah.
guys. Oh, yeah, that would explain the 2-point difference.
I know my armor. I'm
So
smart.
as he hands these over and explains to you what they are again, I'm just kind of half thinking, half reminiscing about your adventure in the Enchanted Forest. It's like, yeah, I've spent. They must be tired of these stories. I've spent days telling these good folk here about everything that happened up in the Dreamlands. It was, I mean, they're all familiar with it, of course. Everyone here has been through, astral projection adventures of their own at least a couple of times. What better ways to get messages from the dream than to go there directly, right?
Right.
It makes sense to them, and it makes sense to me.
That adds up. How did you all know about,
About what?
well, our missing members here?
Oh, I don't know. That's not something I knew. That's something they told me. Well, not directly, but that was my interpretation of it. And it seemed to be more or less correct. I mean,
It's correct.
well, they're the Stardust augurs, I guess, for a reason. They're diviners. They read fate. They read the future. They unwind for, well, I'd say Pharasma's web. They say Desna's dreams, or whatever you want to call it. They look through things to come. Apparently, if you know enough about things that have already happened, you can tell things that will come. And then when they can't, they just go to the Dreamlands and ask there. I guess. I mean, that's as much as I understand it, more or less. I'm not an augur. I've never really been one for divination. I mean, detecting magic's about the best that I can do on that front.
So they just do that, like it occurs to them, or is that like something like they could just sort of?
Yeah, well, from what I picked up, I've been here for a couple of weeks now, almost 2 weeks now. I've been hanging out with them, just waiting, hoping you'd drop by. From what I picked up from that, it seems like it's a mixture of things they're looking after directly and things that just occur to them. Like a lot of their predictions, a lot of their prophecies are delivered, and they don't know, well, necessarily what it means or sometimes who it's even for. Untangling fate's real hard, I guess. It makes sense to me too, but I can't say I've never tried, really.
Yeah.
I throw fire at stuff mostly. It's like
Yeah.
I'm a simple man with simple magic.
So they don't necessarily command that.
I'm not sure. I mean,
So,
I'm going to
question.
admit, I've never. What's up?
What,
Okay.
is it
Segue.
a random thing that is given to them, or they can actually focus and learn about something?
I don't know.
That's kind of what. So yeah.
I like I said, I don't really know. I mean,
Random messages?
if
or-
I really wanted to know, I would ask that Ebern woman, because she's their leader. She's the one that she said she sent that message out to old Aldemain over there, telling him that the guillotine was coming and the axe was on its way if he didn't get out of Galt. And
Well, it came.
I mean, if the message got there before the Galtons did, then they must have known that before Galt even did. Because from what I hear, they work pretty fast.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
were extremely fast.
Okay.
And they must have seen something in him if they went through the effort of sending him out a message. And, well, it looks like they're setting him up to host him here for a bit. So, I mean, they must have seen something else from him, too.
What?
I couldn't tell you what. I don't know. I didn't really know. But
Where is the Ebern woman right now?
she's, you would see she's kind of across the clearing by a collection of small carved standing stones, still talking to Daldemain and the retainers some maybe 50 yards away.
I'm just gonna kind of linger over, like when you're
me
waiting for
too.
somebody
I
to
wanna
end
go
a
that-
conversation.
I want to
and,
go
like,
that way as well.
Are you? Oh, you.
Yeah, we can all walk over there. Why not?
Oh,
I mean,
you're
I'm as
coming.
curious too. I mean, maybe not as curious. I've been here for a couple weeks. It's never really bothered me to ask. As much as like I said, I'm a sorcerer.
You're just one of those
They just-
neighbors that wants to know everyone's business.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I don't fault
You guys are
for
fun
it.
to kick around with, and again, I owe you, and I've been waiting here long enough to meet up with you, so I can at least try to repay you a little bit properly. So yeah, we can hang out.
Sure. Come on.
And he just got a
Come
big
on.
smile on his face, follows you over to the other group. And while we're making our way across the clearing, waiting for their conversation to kind of wind down so we can, stick in for a second, why don't we take our midstream break while we wait for that? It's rare that we take breaks or end sessions in, like, a good place. So, we'll take the opportunity while we
This is a
can,
heck of
right?
a cliffhanger.
I don't trust it.
What are
What's
they
gonna
talking-
happen?
What are they
What
talking about?
horrible things are going to happen to our party? What could they be discussing?
Wait,
How
actually-
does divination magic
The
work?
trees were alive.
We found the BBEG.
We found the BBEG.
It's not loud. It's this lady.
It's I thought you were gonna say it's Bindley.
No, sorry. It's the guy we just saved
It's the
from
two
Galt.
of them together, and then they all combine. They're like
It's formed like a
one.
Voltron
Yeah.
of like
It's like
weird
what
side
Nelson
characters.
tried to do, except maybe successful.
We're gonna stand up and stretch our legs, get some snacks. Feel free to hit the bathroom, refill your drinks. It's gonna be about a 10-minute break here in the middle. If you got nothing else you want to do, you can check out some of our partners we got down there below the channel. We got Arkenforge. We've had Arkenforge forever. One of our oldest partners and one of my favorite pieces of software that I've used because, man, I cannot express to you the difference of playing on the virtual tabletop that is the map creation software that you're using and how much malleability you get with that. It's kind of wacky. We don't even scratch the surface of what this can really do, and I feel like we truly do them a disservice, but they're really cool. Go check them out. And if you want a bunch of fun dice, if you're here watching the Pathfinder show, I know you have at least 4 sets of dice in your house. Don't you lie to my face like that. You also need more. Go to Easy Roller. Discount code UGT Show works for them and all of our other partners down below.
You look in the dice cam, you can see the dice that I'm rolling.
You can never have
Just
too
a-
many
the dice cam.
No.
Don't go too far, everybody. We'll be right back.
What are you
I
smelling?
thought we were all gonna do it.
I appreciate that I can just stare directly into
Why
Colby's
would
soul
you leave me
now.
hanging like that?
Got her.
I can just stare directly into Colby's soul now.
So I want y'all to know I'm gonna look at the camera. I want y'all to know every time I go to look at the camera, I look directly at AJ because I'm so
I'm
used
where
to
the
the camera
camera
being like
used to
right
be.
there.
I'm the camera now.
I've always had to like for the longest time I've always had to do this to talk to AJ. Even back when we were doing
No, I can't be in the way and
the
block
hook.
you.
Even all the way back in the
Ooh,
hook.
yeah, that's true.
I was
You're on the
always-
side of the hook too.
Yeah.
The hook.
That was we did a couple of adventures that were like doing the first book of APs. We did 2 of them. Just when we were streaming for Paizo, just to highlight more of their adventure paths. So we had the first book of Curse of the Crimson Throne, and we had the first book of Quest of the Frozen Flame. Both of which, honestly, were super cool adventures that I would be down to play more of. They were cool. Quest is only 3 books, so we've already played a third of it.
Oh man.
That only goes to 10.
Dang.
Hiroki-san, as we
Uh-oh.
come back in. I have read upon the pendulum of fate, and it has been determined as so. An ill omen has come upon ye, and so I shall follow. A villain point for the GM, and a woe from the Court of Silks. But not all is bad. A hero point for one who only has 1 hero point.
It's on me.
Who only has 1 hero point?
I only have one.
I have 2.
It's.
I have 1 and you have 1.
Oh, you.
Rollies?
You have one.
Roll off? You wanna roll for it?
I want to ride a Roku-san and get a second villain point. We'll roll for it. Fight.
You won.
I rolled a 7.
I rolled a
won!
6. No, I rolled
Oh,
a
I thought
6.
yours was a 9.
No, that's the upside downsies.
One with
deserve
a
it.
7. Hero point
You
for
deserve it,
MD.
and a
Sounds
fire.
like you
Firing.
need it.
For John
Firing
Double
this
Homicide Tiller.
disc. It should be whoever lost actually gets it because we're rolling bad.
Distract
Oh.
bow.
Distract foe. Big distracting orc man. I think a giant orc man punch you in the face is quite distracting.
I'm
You
switching-
call that a
I'm
swing?
switching to fire
Yeah.
in the red one.
Pathetic.
So we got a hero point, a villain point, and I have.
The display shows me with 2.
Whoa.
Oh.
So actually, we'll give it to him because it.
Oh,
Yeah,
The
that's
intent.
then we'll put it over there.
Yeah, we'll give it to you.
Oh, so intended to be gone to Brett.
It was intended for you because it
It's
showed
aimed
that
your
I had
direction.
This
to.
was meant to find you.
Oh, distract foe. You call that a swing? Did you already read it?
Sorry.
But I had to do it.
No, you're doing it.
Reintroduce your characters real quick before we get back into this.
Wait, distract
Before I forget
foe.
again.
Hi, I'm Colby. I play MD, the full-blooded orc rogue. Yeah, I'm here. I'm great.
Okay, good.
Stop around.
I'm Sully. I'm Sully. I promise. And I play Cammy, the itty bitty gnomish witch, who, if Christmas were canon in Pathfinder, would love it.
All right. Good tidbit.
Is it Santa Claus real in Pathfinder?
Shh, we'll get that later. Push up.
Me, you, go.
Okay. I'm Marcus. I play Marius, the Ghoul Dwarf Ranger. I also promise that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That Marius would
Brett.
love Christmas, or that Cammy would love Christmas, and you're just corroborating that Cammy
Everything.
would also love Christmas.
I'm a
Leave
Ghoul Dwarf Ranger. Marius loves Christmas. I am Marius.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
He is Marcus.
My name is
If you
Brett.
need to see
I
ID.
play Reginald Sagacious Fox. And, you know, hey, did you guys know I got this hero point?
The same
What's
name
it
you've
say?
always
That's
had.
what
It's
What did you
distract
say?
foe, and it says you call it out a swing.
What did you say?
Pathetic.
No, sorry, before
He said
that.
his name
We're
the same way
moving
that
on.
he's always said it. It's
We're
his
moving
name,
on.
of course.
Nope.
It's just his regular name.
Nope,
That's
yep.
what it's always been.
That's always been there.
Uh,
I don't know what
that
we're
he's-
talking about. Shut your dirty mouths.
Am I being gaslit right now?
the group of you
No.
That's crazy.
make your way over to the other augurs. To Miss Ebrin, to 2 more of the augurs that are over there, and to Senator Daldemain and his retainers. And the first one to notice your approach is Ebrin, who turns with that same smile on her face still. And then Daldemain notices, looks your direction, and immediately kind of rights himself up, brushes off the knees of his pants, and rushes over to whoever is in the front of your group to 2-handed handshake, clasp your hand, and once again, profusely thank you for your very, very much timely assistance.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you.
I would say that I don't know where I would be without you, but I am quite certain that I unfortunately do.
Oh, it's really fun. You know, the more you talk, the more you're starting to remind me of someone.
I'm going to take that as in stride as a compliment.
It's not, but that's okay. You're welcome again. Actually, sorry, I'm here to. Are you guys done here?
Oh, you wish to speak? Yes, and Ebrin nods her head and takes a step forward. Yes, we have more than, I suppose, covered things here. Senator Daldemain here is a very compassionate and skilled politician who I believe will be of great aid to some of our associates further south in Taldor. We will take care of him here for a while before we see him on his way with a brief escort so that he can put his talents to good use for a new nation. He truly is one who loves his people, and I thank you again for delivering him to us. But you, we were split as you arrived here. I have many questions, and I won't trouble you to ask them all. But your sojourns to the Dream have been interesting. Tales I have been unable to fully unravel. I know that you have visited there far more directly than any of us. We are able to cast our minds towards Desna's dreams to try to learn of fates and wheels beyond, but none of us have the, skills nor desire to travel there directly. I know Bindley here has spoke very highly and corroborated much of what I've read of your fates, but I would love to hear of your exploits, those which you would share from your own mouths.
Yeah. Sorry, that's, not quite what I expected, coming over here. I kind of thought that I was going to be, asking after your knowledge.
Really? Well, then, I would be more than happy to aid you in whatever way that I can. You have done a great service for us, for the augurs, for the people of Taldor, and this one soul saved, I hope, will improve lives for a great, great many.
Yeah, here's hoping. So, things that, at least was just sort of clearly mentioned to us over here, that sort of inevitably and casually occurred to you were more than significantly impactful, on our side.
Of that I have no doubt. Like I said, much that I have seen of your fates are muddied and bleak, but potent, and interwoven strongly into the lives and the fates of uncountable others, far beyond even this world or this plane. Details are nigh impossible to parse, at least those that do not intersect with us personally. I saw your arrival, changed as you were, and your friend here, as she nods over towards Benley, agreed with my readings that it meant that your numbers would have shifted. I don't know the specifics of what you were here before, but... And she just kind of looks over Benley, nods and said, yeah, well, I'm either 2 or... And he kind of gestures the universal confusion hands at Marius here. Maybe 3 of them were the same ones that I met before, but definitely a couple different. I don't know this one, that's for certain. And they had a hobgoblin fellow with them. Another guy that I don't see here.
I'm relatively new, so.
Didn't ask any specifics,
Caught up.
really. I just,
With them, yep.
you know, what they're getting up to. I'm happy to see any of them here, honestly. And Ibrin just kind of nods her head.
Are you gonna ask them about what kind of information they get, how they get it?
Please.
Well, sort of, if we had been in a position where we could have known something like what was just freely given out to you on a whim, it would seem, that would have been so valuable. And we find ourselves on a very risk-heavy venture. I guess I'm asking is how often does that happen for you? And maybe, I mean, you just said that I guess you don't know much, but
A star cannot see its own place in the sky. As augurs of Desna, we have dedicated our lives to unraveling the fates that she has spelled out for us, high above, as she turns her head upwards towards the moon and the stars beyond. Everything is written in the dark tapestry, if you have the means to understand or to read it. And those that we can't are supplemented, if not delivered to us, in dreams. We are practiced diviners with lives dedicated to it, and rarely have I been given the opportunity to interact personally with figures of such heavy importance and the weight of stars. But it is equal parts personal magic and petitions to the Queen of the North Star for her aid. Something that, with enough dedication, I believe anyone could learn. If you wish, I would be more than glad to attempt to perform auguries for you now.
yes, would definitely wish.
Your fates that have been delivered to me have been intricate and difficult to understand. So if you wish for answers of any clarity, any hope of a quick understanding, or if even possible, a clear answer, simple auguries will suffice us the best. Come with me. And again, she leads you off across the clearing to an edge, not far, where there is a stone plate laid into the ground. The shape of the thing itself is that of a huge crescent moon, and along from one point to the other are the different phases of a moon going around, new on both tips, full and wide at the biggest part of this stone in the floor. Each of the shapes is fitted into the body of this crescent, and in the center of it is a small ring outlaid with blue flowers, where she moves and stands at the core of this really relatively simple clearing. This lacks a lot of the intricacies, the complexity of the carvings across many of their other monuments and obelisks, just having nothing more visible than those moon phases across the face of this big stone, maybe 10 feet across. It's big, it's not huge. It's really only one person can fit in the middle of this. And as she gets there and turns back around, this is our circle of diviners, divinations, readings, and auguries. Have you had any kind of auguries performed for you in the past?
Not that I remember.
As I said, for your purposes, and if you're unfamiliar with the magics and their whims, simplicity would be best. I will kneel here and focus, channel the light of the moon, and reach out to the Lady of Dreams. And if she is willing, will be provided with answers. The answers will be simple. Yes, no, uncertain even to her or to me in my ability to understand them. But I should be able to answer a few. Not many, so choose them wisely. But I will do my very best. And she kneels down, the center of the circle, facing back away from you, head bowed towards the widest part, the full moon, this stone. And she starts to very softly chant incantations. After a few moments, she raises her head again and opens her eyes and turns back to look towards the group of you. And you can see that her irises are lit up a pale, shimmering silver. It's not bright, but it's clearly visible in the light of the moon above. What would you ask of fate? There is no rush. Choose your words carefully. Make sure you ask what you truly want to know.
How many questions do we get?
It's uncertain that I can give you an exact number, but with the weight of questions that I ask of you, it may not be many. 3, maybe 4? It's all up to the whims of the stars and what the Queen of the North Star wishes to grant me.
Okay. I don't know why I feel like I need to whisper right now. But would it be better, have been better, if we never recovered our memories at all? I put so much work into this, but it seems like...
Though I will admit I lack the context of this question. I would warn you that it is vague. Its answer, even as a yes or a no, may readily be misunderstood.
So is it better to add more information to that same question? Like,
You're asking in terms of weals or woes. If that's the insight you wish, I can rephrase it myself.
I guess I'm just sort of wondering, with how much of a price that we've paid to get where we are, it sort of feels like we're being fought against on all sides, and I guess I just wonder if that's for a reason. And would it be better if we just never knew? I don't want to go through all this and find out something that I wish I hadn't.
What drives you on this quest of yours?
I don't know, but I guess there isn't really anything else to drive someone when they can't remember anything.
So it is near the totality of your purpose, all that you know.
Yes. Not
Then
near, literally. All that we know is that we don't know anything.
And I feel you may not need gods for the answer to that question. But if you wish, I will ask.
Yeah, I guess so.
And she turns back around, bowing her head. And again incants under her breath. And as she does, the different phases of the moon start to glow. This same silver light and the color of her eyes has replaced the green she had when you first met her. Starts to shimmer throughout this crescent plate. They have journeyed far and sacrificed much to regain that which they once knew. Once finally within their grasp, are they better for it? And the light starts to coalesce, shifting around towards the center until the full moon at its middle is glowing brightly, illuminating the whole of the area around this. And she turns back to the group of you. Yes. She would very much think so. A signal stronger and clearer than any I had hoped to gain here, especially from a question such as that.
Would you be able to be able to divine a name of someone who's entangled in our fate?
That may be difficult, but I can try.
When we were in the dreams, we encountered a bounty hunter who was after mine and my friends' heads. Never said who was after us, who put a bounty on us, and they captured us. We don't know what for, but I would like to know who.
And she turns back and moves out again and hits. Pursued by one who seeks riches, fame, and glory. We know his name, but not his benefactors, not who truly seeks their ill. Whom has sent this relentless pursuant? And she holds up her hands and starts doing symbols with one of them that look like signs. She goes through them relatively quickly as the light in this whole crescent around her slowly starts to well up. And she stops at a point with her hand split open and it shimmers. And she goes one further as it blinks out and then goes back and feels it. Well, not a complete answer, but one that you know. One that's not close to you, but one you would recognize. One whose fate is inevitably intertwined with all of yours. The name is, well, not typically the kind of information fates would provide. But a W, perhaps? This takes its toll.
Did I know that name? Okay.
This, even questions seeming so simple, trying to read into the fates of a group such as yours are heavy. I may have but one more.
I have a couple ideas, so we might have to decide which would be best.
Above table, really quick. Do we know what Aeons are? Is that term?
That was one of my questions.
Been, I think, described to us by Wyrelai.
Do we know like the term, like that name, like that's what?
Yeah,
they're
Wyrelai.
Wyrelai told you.
Yeah, Wyrelai told us what Aeons were.
So, my questions were, one, are we at risk of the forces of the actions we've taken and the forces we've interacted with in the dreams? Are we at risk of those coming to harm us in real life? And then just whether or not the god of the night sky in dreams would know what the Aeon creatures are or could tell us anything about them. I don't know if one of those seems like the better question.
I feel like harm is not really as prevalent as more information.
I think this is a source of information. She's divining fates.
So maybe harm would be more likely to be
Answered?
What about the thing inside you, the thing that's touched you and all of us?
Yeah.
I consider that, but I also don't know what to ask about it.
You just ask the
Who put it there?
I'll never put it there. Is it gonna harm us? Is it gonna be our fall? What's it mean for you?
Yeah.
You're more affected by this than we are.
So
I wish, of course, not to pry into what affairs you have experienced, though I will admit my curiosity grows with each word. But as the conduit to Desna for this knowledge, her answers and my ability to understand them will be filtered through my understanding of yourselves and your questions. I don't expect to know everything, but if I know nothing, so too shall you.
I don't think that you can mess it up, Marius. Anything you ask is more than you knew before.
Ask a question, anything you want to know. When's the best season to fish?
Is there... Are we at risk, or does the seed that has been said to live inside me pose us danger, and is there anything that can be done to protect us from that?
I will ask as I can, and impart what answer I receive. And she turns back around one more time, kneeling back down. This one bears a seed unknown in his bosom. Is it a threat, a danger, something that will cause him, those around him, the world at large, great harm? As the shimmering again starts across this crescent. This time, instead of coalescing up towards the center, it starts to shimmer out to the sides, towards where the moon is a little past its half, but it's flickering back and forth. It doesn't set in strongly. It moves towards the center, towards the edges, and back. Merges together on one side, then the other. This whole time, still, Druid kneels there, just focusing, channeling whatever energy or magic she has, trying to search for an answer. All of a sudden, you find yourselves in a different place. The grass beneath your feet replaced with sand. The crescent overhead, a full, huge moon, taking up an enormous amount of the sky. And dunes and a black sky stretching out all around you. I have a couple of facets to this woe from Oroku-san. First, of course, being the lack of any answers to any immediate questions you may have. The second, being this strange place. Cool night air, a little chilly, blowing across you, but not cold enough to be of any danger. You can see little, but a single building off in the distance. One that you recognize from your first journey to the dream, weeks and weeks ago. And third, as you look across yourself, Reginald, Marius, do either of you even have any Dreamlands gear? Have you gotten really anything?
I don't think so.
Well, that's something you all have in common. Because when last you woke from the dream, neither did you. There's no notable change to your kit or your equipment. No staff, no crown, no weapon. As you look upon Marius, you can see his green, scaly skin of his He has taken this form as a Lengul, but nothing else has apparently changed.
I still have
So we have everything on us?
You have everything you had. Yeah, you have all the
Oh.
stuff that you had
Okay.
standing there, and you're now just in.
Try this sword from my cold
Desert.
dead hands.
I think you just did.
You did. It's very live, warm, loving hands.
I had so much good stuff.
Well, you didn't have it with you when you woke up.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel
Anybody
right.
see Skywin in a really suspicious crate?
So they're somewhere here.
Well, I don't know.
As you look over towards the caravanserai in the distance, some trek away, even from here, where it's little more than a shape on the horizon of the shifting sands, you can see that there is a different shape. The building itself was sandstone, kind of U-shaped as you'd approached it from north before, and it looks like you're in exactly the same place you had been originally. Same distance, same direction. But there's something on top of it, something so big that you can see it from here. You can't really make out what it is, but it is a massive little blob of purple and bright orange. And it's moving a little.
On top of this building?
Yes.
Marius is gonna take out the thing that's been with him for a long time and pull out a spyglass.
I asked about a
Oh
spyglass
my
a couple sessions
gosh.
ago.
He has a spyglass!
I have a
I asked
spyglass.
about a spyglass
Look
last
at
session.
That's been
that.
sitting at the bottom of my backpack for years.
It's finally time!
It's finally time to spy on something. And I
Pull
would
out
like
your
to try to
spyglass.
perceive something.
And you look out across the sands at the caravanserai. And you see, perched on top of... Remember when you were there before, one of the wings was kind of collapsed?
Yeah.
The eastern wing. Up on what's left of the upper level on the east side, there is a bright purple scaled dragon. It's humongous. The thing is probably 18 feet across. Not like tip to tail, like shoulder to shoulder. But weirdly, it only has shoulder to shoulder. It has 2 front legs and simply nothing where you would expect hind legs to be. The back end of its body simply resting down on the top of this building with a long, winding tail extending out behind it.
Yar. That'd be the front half of a dragon.
Where
It
did
looks-
the accent come from?
Oh my
Kind of
gosh,
like
we got
this.
transported and Marius is a pirate.
With
It comes
its
with the spyglass.
bright orange wings folded back against its hide. Kind of fanned out so the tips are on the ground, not folded up completely. And looking through the spyglass, you can see that mounted on its back is a blue and gold little carriage. It's wearing a fairly large harness. I mean, it has to be. The thing is huge. That straps around its entire body, supporting a carriage that's got a full cover and everything. Almost all of it pinstriped with this blue and gold, and 2 rows of very fine couched seating on its back. A massive howdah set upon this thing. It appears to just be resting.
Run the dreams.
Oh no.
We
This
have-
is bad.
We have like a week.
It looks like
This is bad.
It looks
We
like
had
somebody
3 days.
parked their dragon for the night at the caravanserai.
Do we have all the, or do we have the shopping list with us? All the things we're supposed to get. Which one of us?
You would have all of those items. All the minor things you collected in the Dreamlands. And all of the offerings across you
Right.
you would have. You have the hat, you have the red webbed foot, you have the idol,
I
you have the ring, you have the tail, you have the heartstone.
Does
You
look
have
good.
the 7th one that I also remember.
That you were saying right now.
Tail of the hat.
Tricorn.
Tri-
That's
yeah.
the
That-
hat. I think
You said
it's
the
the hat.
Poignantly,
I think
the
it's
hat.
the hat.
Yeah, that's that.
I have. Oh,
Thinking,
it's.
I'm thinking.
Do you want somebody to tell, or do you?
I'm
want to
missing one of them, but the point is you
I'm
have
trying
all
to
of
remember
them.
what you
Do you have a
said.
transformer in your notes?
To
Did I?
tell, the ring, the stone idol, the heartstone, the tricorn, the foot, and the skull, and a ring.
The skull is the
Skull.
one I forgot. The ghoul
I
skull.
think so.
Yeah, the gold skull. That we grave robbed for, yeah.
Yes.
So it does look like some kind of dragon beast that's used for. I mean, it certainly seems like a noble's like transportation for someone of nobility.
Mm-hmm.
So, if the poet was of nobility,
Doubt it. It's probably the Yellow King's ride to the poet.
Joy.
Joy. I really don't want to do this.
Oh my gosh. Can I check my pockets?
The question is, even if something happens here and we wake up,
Try waking up.
no. But
Okay.
I could try to wake up.
Try waking up.
Can I try to wake up?
No,
Go
don't
for
leave.
it.
Please don't leave. Please don't leave. Just don't do that.
no, don't.
I close my eyes and then you just shake me away.
Don't
Okay,
do that. No. But okay, we'll deal with it when it happens.
Oh.
Well, if we're not gonna wake up, then we just start walking towards the caravanserai.
There's a reason.
There's never a reason.
Well, we just don't have the answer yet.
I won't answer.
As you approach the caravanserai, making your way through the sand of desert, the same and yet very different as the one you had traversed the first time you went to the dream. The environment is identical, but the air around you very different. The absolutely blistering heat you'd walked through before, replaced by this, again, somewhat chilly nighttime. A humongous moon, looking like it hangs so low in the sky that you could almost reach out and touch it. And before terribly long, after maybe 15, 20 minutes of walking, just before, you reach the outskirts of the caravanserai itself. There's no need to obscure the inside of the building. You know what it looks like. It looks exactly the same as it had when last you left it, save for this enormous dragon perched up on the broken wing to your left as you approach. You're walking through blank, arid sands. Even sitting there, the dragon clearly notices you as you get close to the building. It literally kind of cocks its head like a confused cat as you approach, before it seems to lose interest and just go back to staring at nothing.
Seems like we're somewhat. I don't want to say the word welcomed, but we're not. We're not. Yes, we're unexpected. Okay.
Oh, no.
As you approach the entry to the caravanserai once again, you see the closest door to your left. I believe the first one that you had opened when you got here, where you had originally found the magical,
The swinging.
shifting scimitar
Well,
that was your best friend
This-
for most of this book.
Oh.
of note also was this. This was where we actually met, at least like the dream version of Count Laos.
Yes,
Yes.
this is where we're supposed to go. We're supposed to meet back
which
up with him.
would be of more interest to Reginald.
Yeah, you get to meet him.
This is where I found the cube.
That door is still open. The other two doors that lead, into the main halls of the building are closed. But you can hear moving about in that room, and a snorting and a snuffling of some kind of animal around the corner.
Do you have like food on me?
I just peek around the corner.
Yeah.
You peek your head around the corner. What are you sneakily or peekily? Are you going for seeking or sneaking as you look on the corner?
Oh, I'm not a really good rogue. Gonna be honest with you there.
I mean, I could go sneak if you want.
Right.
But he's already said he's poking his head up.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
sneakily or peekily?
Sneakily.
Give me a stealth check.
Oh.
That was a 4 on the die, my guy.
It's not a good rogue.
Not a good
Not a good
rogue.
rogue.
It's a 17 for
At least
stealth.
he never claimed to be.
I think -1 for my armor, so...
Fantastic.
-1 from the
It's a
armor.
comical critical failure.
Wait,
So
I have more stealth than you?
you step
Not a good
over
rogue.
and you kind of look around the doorway. Your armor sort of jingles in the door frame as you peer around. Absolutely unsubtle. It looks like he's kind of he's trying to be, but you're so big. You're so big.
I try to be, then I just give up.
And you're wearing a bunch of chain. And yeah, you can tell, whatever. As you poke your head around the corner and you immediately hear and see the face of a strange, like elongated, very gaunt hound turn towards you. Its eyes are sunken down into its face and its snout far too long and jagged. It exudes a strange yellow light from inside of its chest through its visible ribs, looking like a creature that hasn't been fed in days or even weeks. And standing over it is another figure, dressed, looking seemingly for travel in the desert, a turban perched upon their head. They too turn to look at you, and you see the face of another one of these figures. Another one of these denizens, these creatures from wherever it is that Wairelai hails. And immediately making eye contact with this, the dog barks, and the creature reaches for a blade.
Like a universal sign of I don't want to fight.
I will be
They do.
I'll be a little bit closer to him, at least behind him.
Yeah, so he's peeking the door. You're kind of up behind him. Marius and Cammy a bit further back.
Yep.
Immediately upon hearing the bark, it's like, why do we send the rogue?
He just
Or-
likes to try and sneak every now and
Dog.
again.
Die and
Something to feel alive.
Roll me some initiative,
No.
everybody. And we do not have, you were both on seek duty, I believe, so we don't have a scouter right now.
Oh,
Not bad.
I'm just gonna
Thank
take a plain
you.
roll. Okay.
Okay.
MD, the man in the door.
Not
makes
affected by melancholy. Our paranoias or our stuff is going on right now. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
You
a low.
indeed.
It's a heck of a low. 31.
31, not bad. MD?
27.
Good night, MD. Marius, 27. Cammy?
36.
Ooh.
30.
Reginald, 30. All right, so we got 27, 30, 31, 36. Go divide here. I will roll man. How did I? Oh, that's impressive, but I'm not gonna take it. It wasn't the trade. I will follow my own laws. The laws of this land. 29. So man, actually pretty low here. And dog. Even lower, actually. They kind of were not expecting anyone to show up here. It looks like.
Well,
So,
we weren't expecting
Cammy,
to
you
show
hear
up.
bark. Like, MD is clearly ready to move. They're a little startled in the room. You hear this bark in the back, and it doesn't sound friendly. What do you do?
Oh, wait up. I'm going to... I can't believe that I beat everybody.
I won?
I want to.
What?
I won. I'm going to. Oh, gee. I'm going to. I'm going to come up behind MD here and kind of placing a hand on his back. I'll be like, "Oh, what's going on?" That's going to be stoke the heart to you, sir. I'm gonna just. I think I'm actually just gonna kind of like take a defensive position up against the wall here, kind of.
Just like right next to MD?
Yeah,
or?
sort of
Okay,
bracing.
So like on the backside of it.
I'm looking to. What is it?
Take cover?
Yes.
Okay. You want to take cover up on that corner.
Mhm.
And MD, in the doorway, this man is reaching for a short sword.
I'm reaching for a long sword.
It's bigger.
That's
It's not a
wild.
competition.
Wild how that works, right? I'm gonna draw my longsword. Is the door's still on the hinges, right?
That is the one. Yeah, that one is. And looking in the room here, it looks like the room has been tossed. Like this
Close the door.
This guy looks like he has went through this trying to find something. You shut the door.
And then
One
a raise
action.
shield.
Raise your shield. He's ready. Reginald,
Oh gosh. Well, I
very
will.
slowly.
I feel like my cane was probably already out,
It's a walking cane, but it's not in. Yeah, you can have the cane. If you want the sword, you got to draw it.
Right, yeah, I'd have to do that. I actually will take out with that doesn't count, but my pipe will be hanging out off my lip, and I will have my crossbow, my new crossbow out, and my sword in the other hand, and I'll put the sheath. I'll keep the sheath back where it's at.
Okay.
And then
you're gonna pull out the sword and put the sheath away. I'll give you 2 of actions to have all of those things in your hands.
yeah, I can't move to the. Can I move to the doorway?
You have 1 left, so you can move.
Okay, and then for if the door opens to be my next move.
Like where you want me to do the doorway?
What would ever be? Sure, yeah, that's good.
I was assumed. I always thought you were like flanking the doorways.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay,
Perfect. I like it.
you would. This is man. A command did beat dog. The dog rolled really low.
It would suck if the dog went first, couldn't open the door.
That would be really funny.
No.
You hear the scrape of metal as a blade is unsheathed, and the denizen moves up to the door and throws it open, and just makes a quick couple of noises towards the door and the dog. And the dog is going to run out the door, and he sprints up out the doorway in between the 2 of you. He's a dog. He's not the smartest. He's a dog. And as he gets out, he's just gonna bite MD. MD's just right there.
Hi.
He's gonna munch him. That's the guy that you saw. He's locked on here.
You didn't even have time to put the nice armor runes on our armor.
Dog.
Wait, we did it?
No. What? We just got those. It takes a full day to put them on.
Oh, it takes a full day.
Yeah.
How's a 41 to hit?
Oh gosh, the dog for pity's
Well,
sake.
you know, if I had my armor rune on, it wouldn't.
It's an attack dog,
It crit.
and it's attacking. So this dog is immediately going to
It's exactly full.
jump up at MD and latch on. And you're gonna feel not just the weight of a pretty big dog. This is not a small dog. This is huge. This dog comes up to like your waist. It is a massive, emaciated beast. It throws itself up at you and bites down hard. And you feel inside of its mouth a biting, permeating cold as well. This is a combination of cold and piercing damage.
I'm immune to piercing damage.
Shut up.
Oh, get ready.
It's only gonna be 17 points of damage total. Oh, sorry, I didn't crit you. 34 points of damage total.
Give me my crit.
34 points of damage as it bites. And then as it bites, it's gonna just bite you again, I guess. It's a dog. He's not like a tactician here. He's not the smartest animal in the world. Dog. That's much, 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 much lower. Can I interest you in a 24?
No.
You can just push it away. Stop, Marius.
Okay.
The first bite distracted enough.
Hunt prey and the dog. I'm gonna move to the left to try to get a more clean shot of the dog.
Out of the corner of the building?
Maybe a little bit further back because I still need like the 30 feet preferably.
Let's see.
But yeah,
Oh, yeah,
so
like
pretty
you
much
got-
right there.
Kind of like to the
So
end.
it's
Yeah,
got a
that's fine. I'll
straight
say
diagonal.
that's good.
And then I will give him a hunted shot for two
Two
arrows.
shots. Dog.
Ooh, okay, that's an 18. That one will hit probably
I would hope so.
with a 39. Right?
That is a 39?
Yeah.
That will
that's how
crit.
math
39 will crit
Yeah.
the dog. It's a big, emaciated dog. It's not particularly good in the AC department.
Okay.
Good at the biting department.
As the arrow hits it, it does not have any like supernatural resistance. It doesn't have like rhino hide. It's just a big dog.
It's not immune to precision damage.
Not immune to precision damage. It's a dog.
Okay. I like the.
It's a weird Dreamlands dog. It's definitely not normal, but
Oh,
it's like a
insane.
nightmarish
We found
dog.
out how the Tindalus. It's okay.
This is way less weird than how it's
Yeah.
This
It's
is
like
like
a
a
normal
slightly
dog.
screwed up dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
Dog's
really
sick.
weird dog.
I believe that will be 40. 40 points of damage.
40.
And
Look at the
he's
dog.
he's pinned to the
He's
wall.
actually.
Just kind of arrow punches through the dog into the door frame here. Dog is stuck.
He's immobilized.
Your dog is
and
stuck.
we'll need that.
That dog's sick.
Is the door open?
Yeah, the door's open.
Gotta
We've
pet
got
that dog.
the man opened the door.
And as the arrow hits it and pierces through it and the dog into the dog into the door, the dog into the door, it yelps in pain and whips its head up and lets out a howling sound, and with that comes a blast of freezing yellow sand that shoots out across MD and Cammy, who will have cover, so you get a +2 to save. But I need a reflex save from both of you.
Okay.
I got a
+2
40
to-
total.
He's fine.
Some regular. Yes, that's a critical success. Yep. That's
Wheel.
Roll a 19 on the die.
rogue. You're not bad at rogue things. You're just bad at sneaking.
I'm gonna try something first. Don't mind me.
It will hurt you.
Rolled a 19 on the die.
Nuh-uh.
Does your disappear? All right, so you phase out as this starts to come by. You get some resistance.
Yes, equal to my level if I'm remembering correctly.
11 points of resistance against this.
And now I make my save.
Yes.
And I get a +2 to that save. From my +2, it's +4.
So yep, +4 to the reflex save between the
Reflex?
cover and winking out.
I'm so good at those anyways.
Wow. She's rolling hot.
39.
Critically succeeds. This thing kind of just reactively yelps and shoots out this quick, like, howling blast of sand. You can see the ground around where it shoots just freeze across, flash over for a minute. Fingers of white ice shooting across the sand of both of you. Just throw yourself back across the building. It's kind of Amor of Marius, and it misses you completely.
When are we starting to dance?
Do you have a second shot
Our
at
dance
Marius?
crew?
Yeah.
It was a.
Okay, then it's
Right.
Cammy.
That's what that was.
Woo! Okay, here's what Cammy wants to do. Let me tell you what Cammy wants to do.
What's Cammy want to
let me
do?
tell you what Cammy wants to do.
What's Cammy want to do?
Let me find my card. Yeah, about that. Hold on. Maybe, actually. Anyway, hold on, let me focus. Shut up.
Give her time.
Give me time.
I'm sitting next to her. I can rush her now.
Nobody
Cammy,
said anything.
oh my gosh. So Cammy's going to, after bracing herself from the sleety sort of sand coming at her, she's like, hold on, and I'm going to force myself running through a snowstorm or whatever. And I want to get myself over here to where an angle where conveniently I would have them at a diagonal. That's so crazy.
Oh, you can stand by the other door. You can stand by the other door and get a nice little line there.
Yeah. It's actually crazy how that works out. It's
That's
for no
wild.
reason.
That's wild.
It's
that
for
there's
no
the door.
reason.
He is definitely not taking cover. He's just in the door frame, so he does not have cover.
That's
He had-
cackle.
He had draw, move, open the door. That was his
Weird
3
cackle.
actions.
Yeah, so after cackling and assuring his Stokeheart, as I kind of brace myself up against this door, I'm going to let out a blast, and that is Enervation, hitting both of them.
What kind of save is this?
This is a Fortitude save. Each living, unless they're dead.
They are both living.
Okay.
Neither of these are undead.
Well, it's always polite to ask.
The guy gets a nat 20.
That's
This
unfortunate.
is a fortitude save?
Yeah.
Probably because the dog gets a 30.
30 is my save.
Oh, and we're on meets it, so he just exactly succeeds. I was like 30 might fail at 11, but
That's okay. The dog will still take some persistent damage, but just not as much
dogs
as
don't
it,
feel
of course, would have been.
So is there any upfront damage or is it all persistent?
It is all persistent,
So
actually.
come around to the dog. And as this rips into
Oh,
the...
so funny. Oh, I thought you said it was the dog's
Oh,
turn.
no.
I was
It
like,
will come around to the dog.
I was like,
Right now it comes down to MD.
Um,
Look how flanked this dog is.
the dog is
What
so
What a
flanked.
stupid dog.
Am I able to 5-foot step into the room past the dog?
No.
No?
I won't make you make an acrobatics check to push in there, but you will have to stride.
Okay, I'll just stride in there.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's like a big enough door flame. The dog's
crazy.
kind of out of the door. I'll let you do it.
Crazy about that dog.
Crazy about that dog. Crazy about neither of these guys having attack opportunity. So in you go.
Also crazy that dog is still flanked.
Gang up.
But instead of that, I'm gonna just bash the shield at the dude and stab at him with the sword. I'm gonna twin feint.
Twin Fate. Let's
So
go.
starting with the shields. God, it's been so long since I've actually shield bashed. It's 1d6.
Bonk.
12 on the die for a total of a 34 to hit him with the shield.
34 line with a shield.
Doubling ring gives me another d6. So yeah. So this is what, 4 now? 5 now? What is your 4? So 10, 17 damage with the shield bash.
Okay.
He's bonked in the face, and as he's rolling back from that, the sword is going to lunge right for center mass. I would like to really save this, protect the innocent, but it's so circumstantial on how you can use it. You can't really protect anyone with it.
Oh.
They have to be
One of the
incapacitated.
greatest ironies of our time.
It has to be incapacitated.
Oh, it's that one. I know that one is now.
It would be really
These
great.
are sick rerolls, is what it
It
is.
is a
Yeah,
sick
it is.
reroll.
From,
Hi, Brad.
Hi,
Hi,
Brad.
Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Brain.
Look at your beautiful setup.
Look at it.
27 versus flat-footed.
27. He'll just barely be able to hop back out of the way of that. That's just gonna miss his flat-footed.
That's a shame.
And Reginald, as they go to duel in the room, you're left out here with the dog.
All right, so as the dog came out, I immediately, the pipe going, it's
Thank
again
you,
in my
Sam.
mouth, not really doing anything, but just smoking it like normal.
He's so cool.
So,
He is.
and as the dog came in through the doorway, I immediately started scanning I'll devise a stratagem to basically figure out what I want to do with this thing. Also, this is it free or no? Does this like have anything to do with like wow?
Your
Or
cases are Lowell's
the
and
people put
Stardust
us in the
augers.
dream.
Your cases are Lowell's and the Stardust augers. This is not going to give you a free device.
My question
unfortunately.
is, how's the dog look? Is he bloodied?
Not quite, no.
Okay.
He's only taken one hit. It was a big hit.
It was a big hit. I don't know.
He's not. He's a pretty big dog.
He dealt like 34 damage to me on a crit.
That's
So-
fair. Fair question.
So I will
You get
devise
baby
a
dice.
stratagem at the dog as I'm looking for a weak point. Probably not. 26.
Are you taking the attack?
If that, do I know? I don't know if that
You
hits
don't
or
know.
not.
You know you'll get a 26.
Yeah.
You decide whether or not you want to use
That's
that.
so close.
Remember, he is flat-footed too.
MD, maybe this will be more useful. A hero point from Hypervolt.
Hypervolt!
Woo! Thank you.
So
Thank
you one action devise, and then if you swing at the dog, you will get a 26. You want to swing at the dog? You know the dog's probably flat-footed. Swing at the dog.
I will swing. He's flat. If he's flat-footed, because that means what? His AC would have been like 28. Because then that minus
It's
2.
too lower. Yep.
I'm
So-
getting baby vibes.
Yes, I will. I will take that attack on him.
26 will hit his flat-footed.
Hey, that was about right. Hey.
Warning sign. Quick,
Opa.
ball butterfly. Funny, because we were just,
That's how funny. We
all
took
right.
the Destin camp.
it was a very coincidental.
2d6 plus 3d6.
Also, with him hitting him, I want to trigger my reaction too.
Oh, okay.
Before we move on past
Sweet.
that.
10, 20, 23 plus 4. That is 27 damage.
Not bad. 27 damage to the dog. Now the dog looks bloodied.
Now that as you're going, MD's in the middle of that thrust with the sword, and he just kind of shifts it quickly and brings it back over the dog as he's distracted by your hit. Gonna take an opportune backstab. And you know what? We're gonna warning sign.
Hey,
Dog gets flat-footed.
guys, make sure to take care of your local.
It is a
needs during the
26.
26 will hit the dog's
I don't
flat-footed.
know
We've
why I
established
reroll-
that.
I don't know
There
why I
it
rerolled
goes.
that. I knew a 26 was gonna hit. D8.
We've solved that one. That was not a mystery anymore.
Yeah, I don't know why I rerolled that. I just want a big number on die. I want to go Wii Who die. But he is not immune to precision.
It's a dog.
Cool, I got extra sneak attack damage now. I want the 3d6 now.
Ooh, he's going up. Okay, going up in the world. Going up in the world.
I rolled both. 2, 4, 5, 6, 11, 15, 20.
That's not bad.
And he's weak 5 to piercing.
We can fight at piercing with his good slap here. You have one action
I
left.
do have one action left. Can I, because I have my crossbow in the other hand, can I shoot the guy in the room? Is there a spot?
Sure,
there?
take a shot. He's
Yeah.
gonna have lesser cover because there's kind of a fight in the middle between you two, but you can take a shot.
But it's as my second
Minus
attack.
5.
It's minus 5.
Yep.
No. He's not flat-footed to you.
I also could just roll hot, bro. I'm gonna do it.
Just roll good.
I
Just
feel
roll-
like
just
there's
roll
like
good.
this whole
Do it.
thing happening right there. Boom. Nope.
Want to know what he rolled?
Dude.
Well, he loses his shot, and you see a bolt fly through this melee here.
Yes.
As MD and this
It's
denizen
so
of
cool.
Lang
cool.
It was
are
so
battling
cool.
in the room. You
Went
landed
flying
a
by.
good hit on him, and he takes that and then pivots with the short sword and brings it back up towards you. I'm going to use one of my villain points here
That's fair.
Uh-oh.
because I've got one from Link 1429.
That's fair.
And he's going to take a slash.
And he wants it.
Yeah, he wants it.
Those are one apart from each other, and I don't think either of them hits. That's 29 to hit.
No, yes. We don't have the armor class from the armor.
Rune on.
We don't have the
Coming
rune
up a
on.
lot.
It's coming up a lot. Not
Wait,
plus one
remember this.
difference.
+1's a huge deal.
+1s are gigantic in Pathfinder. And it is absolutely going to allow him to catch you just barely with the short sword.
You need to just simply become an expert at your armor.
Obviously.
Have you tried becoming an expert at your armor?
I'm a bad rogue.
For 23 points of slashing damage.
That's more than the dog. That's almost more than the dog bit me for.
23 points of slashing. It's almost like he's the main threat. 23 points of slashing
But
damage.
we're really settling the dog.
And 3 points of spirit damage.
I don't have a spirit, so.
As the tip of this blade also rips through you and you are bleeding.
I want a sword.
Oh.
Yeah, you do.
I want
yeah,
his
you do.
sword.
You want that sword.
I'm taking that sword.
And then as he gets that hit, he brings his other hand back, and you hear him hiss under his breath, Dolor Phantasma, and thrust it forward, and you see a wave of energy come out of you. Make me a will save.
Oh, I'm famously good at those.
I know.
Will save, you said?
Will save.
Can I interest you in a 23?
23 is a regular failure, so not a critical failure. That's cool. That's what you want to see. You want regular failures.
Uh-oh.
You are going to feel almost like a dagger has been buried into your skull. And you are going to take 28 points of mental damage. And you will just feel it continuing to bite and rack in your mind. You are also taking persistent mental damage.
So I'm bleeding.
You're bleeding and you're taking
have
persistent
parts.
mental damage.
But he's
at
already
full-
depressed.
This man is stacking dots. You're up to 2 dots. Dog. Dog simple. Dog bite man who attack owner.
That's fair.
Does that have the move trait though?
No.
Does he have to become unimmobilized to bite?
Well, he is pinned right next to MD, so he can still just bite at him because he's still in range.
and
he,
he should have just moved like 3
He's
inches
gonna sit there
forward.
and he's gonna march
That's-
because
Okay.
you see it. Do what?
I was gonna. Does being pinned give him the minus to his attack roll? Because it's
Just
harder. to-
immobilized. He's got one leg in there. He's still really getting and just kind of snapping at you as you're kind of focused on your duel with the denizen here. First bite. Bad. Second bite. That was a 2 on the die. Natural 20.
Whoa!
From one side of the die to the other. Actually, no,
my-
we moved over one face because
Uno
2's right next to
reverse
that.
card I like to keep over here and say no you.
Well, the math, it is still going to crit. The math's it's going to be a 36 to hit, so it is going to get up to crit time.
Yeah. AC 29. You would need a 39. Yes, not 20. Yeah.
Well, not 20. I'm saying, like, yeah, I think it's low enough with one map on it to not crit you.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not that much stronger than the
No.
dog. So the dog's going to get a real good bite after he dials it
28.
in. 60.
Cool.
60 points of combined piercing and cold damage as he rips a huge chunk out of MD while he's taking this hit from the denizen. Those of you that can see the door can see the 2 ganging up on him is not going great for MD right now.
No.
They are focusing him and he is just getting ripped down right
But
now.
I'm not flat-footed.
Final bite. No. That's persistent damage.
Bad
time.
dog.
Bad dog.
10.
Woo!
Spicy.
10's death's door.
Bad dog.
That's death's door from that persistent damage,
Bad
which he
dog.
is still taking. Turn of
Speaking
Marius.
of tending to puppers,
It's
we're tending
negative
to a
damage,
pupper.
should that matter.
All right, I will.
We're also
give-
tending to puppers.
Yeah, we are tending to puppers. Well, puppers tending to me.
You're being tended to by the pupper. Yeah.
Yeah.
for my first action. I will give the dog 1 hit with a deadly aim.
Big shot.
1 big shot.
Pretty
See what
hard.
happens.
Nice.
That's a 12 for was a 33.
That'll hit. He's
Yeah.
not flat-footed to you, so it's a regular hit.
Okay.
It's wild that being pinned
give him a
doesn't
little bit of
work
damage.
flat-footed. Actually, like as a mechanic.
Yeah,
thing.
well, because you can move around. Like the square is a big area.
I
You
guess.
can still move around a good bit. You can't leave the square.
20.
20?
And he's still weak 5.
Oh, yes! I was like,
There it is.
he literally has 1 hit point. He's 120 health. You put him at 119. Weakness 5 puts him over.
Dog
One
stuck.
big deadly aim, a second arrow hitting the side of the dog here.
I didn't even need that. It would have been 22, I think, with the deadly aim. I forgot to even
Oh.
put it.
Oh, well, he's super dead.
I did roll things, and he's just taking it away from
And
me.
with one final little yelp, this dog goes limp, and the glow, this yellow light coming from its rib cage, sort of fades out, and it just slumps against the door.
Okay. There are no like windows into the room that they're in, right?
There are not. No, there's
Okay.
just a door. This was a building very completely bereft of windows, actually. The caravanserai is just a flat face of sandstone all the way around. It's a weird-looking building. It's very, dream building.
Dream building.
I'm not sure if there's really much I can do right now. I'm tempted to just shout out, "Can you draw him outside?" And then I might just end my turn there.
Okay.
Or I'll
Okay.
shift prey focus, but otherwise.
Okay, yeah, I'll let you hunt Bram. You can kind of see the fight happening.
I can
at the door
hear
here.
him.
Yeah, I'll get it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so the dog is dead.
Dog is dead.
Dog is dead. I'm going.
Den is in his throwing hands.
He's throwing some hands.
He kind of sucks. I don't like him. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to.
This guy is clearly a much better fighter than Wyrelai was.
I'm
Alright, big spells.
looking towards MD through this as I see the dog go down. I'm gonna take my opportunity to shoot forward with both my little baby heal wand, and then additionally I'm going to be that's gonna be just a basic heal, like the 2 action 8 plus 1d8. It's not going to be a lot on you, but it's a little something. Where'd my
Tell.
d8 go?
It's hopefully more than you're about to take in persistent
4
damage.
plus 8, 12. And then just peeking through towards this guy back there, I'm going to, almost as if time is slowing, and I narrow my gaze at him for daring to hit MD, our frontliner. This is Needle of Vengeance.
Ooh.
So this is
Make
going to be a
will
basic
save.
will save.
Okay. 39.
Oh,
Still a regular success, though.
Yeah.
yes,
Not
just
a crit.
barely.
Just barely, but
Oof, that is okay. Heard. But even so, from now on, as long as I am sustaining this, I'm going to name MD as the opposite, as he feels like a sort of prick in the back of his head, incentivizing him not to hit MD. For every hostile action that he takes towards him, he'll take 6 damage. That's halved from the 12 he would have.
ooh.
Every hostile action.
That'll add up. That's pretty juicy.
Spicy.
MD, how you
Well,
looking?
I'm at 30. I'm just gonna say a number. I'm just at 30. I went from 166 to 30. That's a lot of crits.
And you got quite a bit of persistent damage on you right now.
MD, like a little bit of the battle, like the battle lust is gonna fade from his eyes. He's gonna take stock, hear Marius shout, and I'm going to stride back around to the corner to my previous position on the opposite side of the door from Reginald. And then I'm going to focus in. Am I able to take the 2 actions to try to end the persistent damage, the mental persistent damage, by
Yes.
focusing in and trying to
Yes,
recenter
you
myself?
can. So 2 actions, roll a flat check. And if you get 11 plus
No. 4.
4, you try and focus, but it's pretty strong.
It's tough.
It's pretty potent, and it's tough. It's really tough to push through. At the end of your turn, you are going to take some bleed, some mental, almost straight 1s. Great news.
Ooh!
9 total points of persistent damage.
Okay. And then
Roll first for the bleed, second for the mental.
first one for bleed. Bleed, 7. Mental, a 9.
So both still going. Reginald.
Getting better.
With my crossbow out, I throw it backwards, and as I basically just toss it behind me. That's how I drop
Done.
it. Just throw it backwards, create some static electricity coming from up my leg and from my body, and I will do phase bolt at that from right there. Is there any? He has any advantage?
No, you're good here on that.
Straight shot.
You're close
Yeah.
enough. That's not gonna give him cover.
It's kind of like a one-handed backhand with tennis. Kind of I even scrape the ground as a drop come up, and then do face. Okay.
All right, give me an attack roll. Bolt shoots out.
No,
That's
it's fine.
the faces
No, it's
of
good.
when
No,
you roll
it's good. It's not bad. It's not bad. 29.
29 and shoots into the door. And MD retreats. He sees this and just twists out of the way. Like grazes
30.
As I
across the
as I
hide armor
saw
he's got
that
on his
happen,
chest.
I go. I use my Chronos. Is this an action to use my turn back the clock? Well, no, it's not because I want to re-roll that. So
Turn
I'm
back the
just-
clock. You can just do.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a reaction.
So
yeah.
so basically like that all comes backwards, and then I'm like, and then it's like I then make a little extra precision. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay. He's going in, so aim a little in. You know where he's gonna dodge.
No.
It would
He
have been a
just
great
blasts it
story.
into the door
It
frame.
would have been a great story. Didn't recalculate appropriately.
One action.
And then so that is what?
That's 2 for phasable, so 1 left.
And I can't reach him. Shoot. Oh, I will actually give. I will give MD. Is this one action as well? Guide the timeline, which is for ally,
you can.
ally
Yeah,
or
one
foe?
action, it sets him up for the reroll when he does something.
Yes,
All right, you got that prepped. You got the reroll loaded.
I'm giving you an reroll.
It's loaded.
As I did
I'm
nothing,
It's in the barrel.
but I looked cool, but I did nothing.
I look great.
And on the inside of the doorway here, you hear. You're kind of on opposite sides of the door frame. You can't really effectively attack each other. He is going to step back towards the corner so he can peer around the door frame. He's got kind of a grin across his weird, somewhat alien-looking face. You come finish what you started. You can win this duel. You feel magic layered in his words, and you feel a compulsion to go fight him like a man. Make me a will save.
I kind of just want to fail the will save.
All right.
No. There's more attached to that. I know there
Don't
is.
do that. He didn't mean that.
A 29.
29 will succeed.
Woo!
You for some weird reason consider it for a moment, but realize how bad of an idea that would be. Marius.
I wish.
You're gonna have to come down here.
Yeah, I'll have to come in there.
That wasn't a
Don't make me come in there. What?
That
That
was.
wasn't a hostile action, was it?
I'd give him 6 damage for it. It's like,
Our DPS is online.
it's not
Messing
gonna,
with
it's
him.
not gonna do damage, but like I would say that's a hostile
I would
action.
get. It just says hostile action.
I'll take it.
Would you want it to happen to you?
Probably not. No.
Exactly.
If I was basically straight to the left of MD, would I have like a little bit of cover just being on around the side of the doorway, sort of?
If you spend an action to kind of like hug the barely keep your line of sight there, I would let you use an action to take cover, but not really natively, no.
Okay. I'll just kind of stay there, but I'll still have enough room to like shoot from there. Right?
Okay.
So-
Yeah, no, you can definitely shoot it.
All right, I'll
It's
just do
mutual
that.
nothing.
I'll stay there, and I will give him a deadly aim first. Let's see what I can do.
Asking someone to come fight you is confirmed.
That's
as a action.
That's a natural 20.
Woo! Okay,
Get 'em.
okay, okay.
I'm angry.
Glad someone's angry.
Yeah.
I thought you were Marius.
Hi. Oh, that one's cocked. That one's cocked. Well, I wanted it. But
better.
it's better. Plus 2 plus what I think this is 4. Ooh! I get more at this level. Okay, and that's 9. 57. And he's pinned!
You pin him to the back wall of this, right next to the iron barred door that leads to the small little like cell closet where you found the scimitar in the first place. 57. All right, that's pretty good.
And
But as that arrow hits him straight into his chest, like where his heart would be, it sticks him back on the wall. He grunts a little and then just looks up and looks at you. Is that where your weak points are, mortals? Not mine. He is going to take less damage from that shot than you would expect.
He has resistance to crits.
He has resistance to critical hits.
That is
Well,
not.
No.
but not precision.
It's not.
Well, we know.
Well,
And it's not
He does, but
I'll look at them and say,
What world are we living in?
well, so be it, just more.
I mean, it's still a lot. It's still a lot of damage.
I'll give him
That's
2
the
more
one that feels
shots.
the worst.
No.
she takes this and she
That's
does.
a natural 1 and a 7.
Probably
Oh, I thought
no,
they were
and
both-
definitely no.
Is he resistant to critical failures?
Oh!
And I think everyone is.
He's weak to
Cammy,
critical
Hey.
Everyone's resistant.
It
to
doesn't
critical
like sound like a double negative where I get a hit because he's resistant.
Continuing to focus on this sort of
It'd be weird if a monster cast like Trick Room and like you had to miss his it'd be lower than his AC to hit him, and if you rolled high enough, you missed. Like suddenly, Cammy was amazing in melee.
continuing to focus on this sort of just dwelling threat hanging over our enemy should he dare to look MD's way or make a stinky face. I will continue to sustain that, and then he's gonna kind of look for opportunity here. Very, very unwilling to get caught up in the actual heat of the battle. And with a good amount of fear, she's going to come screaming through this path here, and quickly go, ah! Ah! And then tag MD on her way to go stand behind him. That is lay on hands.
Back in your corner.
36. Ah! Ah! And then she's gonna get behind him.
36.
Yes, 36, and then the +2 AC for 1 round.
MD.
And from behind, we'll say, "Come get him!"
Does anyone get temp HP from you sustaining your hex?
Oh yes, you should have that too. Those 7.
7 temp HP. That's important.
Believe.
For me. That's
That's
important.
I'll
important.
double
Yeah,
check.
you get a little
Important for my
slapped.
future plans.
PP dueling.
Yeah, it's 7.
And it's what's your current plans?
Oh, current plans are future plans. He wants to fight one-on-one? Cool. Go right back in there. I feel pumped. I'm going to strive to be on the north side of him. Actually, just walk straight up to him. He's pinned to the wall, right?
Yeah, you just come right in. He is currently pinned to the wall by an arrow. He kind of like levels his short sword defensively at you as you come around, but doesn't.
Does he
Do
expect
anything
a
else?
shield punch? So I'm going to twin feint again, and the shield is going to go straight out right for the throat. So first with the shield. 4 on the die.
You get a reroll from me.
That one's not important.
He wants the next one.
I want the next one. But that's a 26 total versus his pinned.
This is good. 26 ain't gonna do it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He's not the dog.
He's not
he's
the
a
dog.
guy
But
that
the
knows
next
what
one
he's
is
doing.
against his flat-footed,
Yes.
so you got to reroll.
You got a reroll from Brett.
Yeah, there it
That's
is.
not the thing that happened.
A
You
14 on the die.
go to swing, and as you do,
Yeah.
you feel yourself pulled back and see this thing that Brett has seen so many times. These 2 scenes of you swinging down at him and him dodging. Pull into one of them where with the 14 you probably do in fact hit him.
So with the as I approach, this is like a really fast, brisk walk, and the obvious tell of the shield coming out. He parries it with the short sword, comes back through with the long sword for 31 to hit.
That will definitely hit.
He's flat-footed.
That'll catch his left footed for sure.
And he's not immune to
He
precision.
is not immune to precision damage.
That's cool. 7 of it is precision damage.
0 of it is precision damage. He's not immune to precision damage. He's pretty resistant to it.
And then
Try again.
8 plus 7, 15 regular.
15. So as you strike at him, you're doing a pretty good amount of damage to him here.
I can't remember. We looked it up.
He
Does he
looks
have to take the
at
damage
Reginald,
from-
takes this what?
We looked it up. Does he have to take the damage from the precision damage, or just the damage from sneak attack?
I'm pretty sure there's 6 damage from sneak attack, so
Yeah.
you do get a developed
How much
damage.
did you heal him?
So it'd be weak 5 to
36.
piercing.
Big 5 to
And then
piercing.
12.
I'll make a weakness.
And then 7, 10.
11 points of persistent damage
I forgot about that.
between your bleeding and your mental.
So
I'll make sure you don't.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. And then, owie, my brains.
Seems like the torture is
Bleeding. 11, brains 7.
So both still going. And as you kind of pin him up to the wall with the shield and go to swing, he looks at you, and you take this stab that should be a vital point, and it's just flesh. It hurts him, sure. He's bleeding, it cuts him, but it's no particularly potent hit.
And
He just kind of hisses in pain. You cannot kill us. You may as well submit now. We'll wear you down eventually.
And as I go to pull a longsword out, I just twist it and like wrench the wound open even more and pull it out and go, Marius.
Reginald.
I can't hit him from here, right? I have to get in the doorway.
If you picked up your crossbow and loaded it, maybe. That's like you could look around, you could peer on the corner and do it, but if you pick your crossbow up, load your crossbow, shoot it.
Can I phase bolt from around the corner?
Oh, absolutely. You can phase bolt from around the corner.
So you'll from the other side of the door, whatever, you'll see basically almost like how a fox getting goosebumps, but not. It'll just be hair coming at me, like static
hair.
Yeah, static hair, whatever. So like it and again, just like little lightning or little blue streaks coming from around it, and then I'll kind of like boomerang my arm in to like just phase bolt into there. 8 shots going into that thing. Let's see if it hits to where he would get hit with 8d4.
It's a rain of little electrical bolts. It's full AC.
He's not flat-footed.
It's about the highest that
I am going to. I don't think this is gonna. I mean, it's
think it will either.
no, because it's only plus 16 for me to do that. That
No.
is 27.
No way.
Do you want to do a 27 or do you want to reroll?
You should reroll that.
Don't I know if it misses if I'm going to
No.
use this?
No.
You don't.
Well, but I think that you do know. In
I
this
do know. Yes, correct. Yeah. Process of elimination. I believe it's about 30. So I'm going to use one of my hero points, and I'm going to reroll this.
No.
Sneeze of luck.
No, it wasn't.
Sneeze of unluck.
It's an action for me to pick up my crossbow.
It is, yes.
Cool. I'm just going to pick up my crossbow. Everything misses. I'm a failure at life. and I will leave
You
that.
have kind of an MD with a shield and a sword in the way here. And then as he's stuck with MD,
It's a straight shot. How did I
and a
miss?
pin in the corner, is going to reach down with his free hand and grit his teeth and rip the arrow out of his body. I literally don't think he can fail the athletics check. I'm pretty sure there is one.
Yeah, it's only like a DC 10.
Okay, yeah, he literally...
Roll it.
Oh, one!
It's an action.
He didn't fail it. It is an action. I mean, it's definitely an action. I was like, I don't think he can fail the roll. It's basically, it eats an action.
Yeah, you slowed one of them.
He pulls it out and then flashes a couple symbols with his hands, and incants another spell, Speculum Imaginum. And as he pulls himself off the wall and kind of twists around you, you see him split and divide into 4 dancing images of the denizen that you are fighting, all clustered together, dueling against you.
Oh, that wasn't very nice.
Marius.
All right. To no one's surprise, I'll give him a deadly aim first. For a 29.
29, your arrow will shoot in, strike one of the 4 dancing copies of this figure, and it will shimmer away like a mirage over the desert.
All right. Another pair.
He casts mirror image. I'm expecting the Gatling gun.
That's,
Marius is an incredibly good mirror image counter.
Yeah.
34.
Roll me a d6.
1.
That strikes true into another one of these images, which dissipates away like a haze.
And the other one is just going to be a 20. Just,
20 even?
Yeah, 20 even.
20 is a critical failure, so that won't get rid of an image.
Shit. And for good measure, one more.
There's 2 of them now. Dueling with MD.
A 4. That's not going to do anything.
Cammy, you got rid of half of the images.
Let's see. He's just more than 20 feet away, isn't he?
Well, you're not in the doorway. He doesn't move up to the doorway, but then he'd be under 20 feet.
Well, but if something were to fly at him, like a small creature,
He would be
you'd be just
20
out of that
feet
range.
would just be out of range. Yes.
Yeah. So I
You would
will.
see anyone who can see him that his wounds seem to just kind of be disappearing as you fight. You're definitely doing more of them that are going away,
Oh,
but they are
jeez.
kind of just vanishing, like they were never there.
Gotta hit more hits.
Oh,
Oh, never mind.
Okay. Well, I don't know that, so I feel better about the situation. So Cammy's going to kind of come giggling up to the corner. Cackle.
Cackle.
That's Needle of Vengeance. I'm gonna keep that thing up since he's really dead set on just messing with you.
They'd be boxing in there.
And I'm giggling, of course, because I've pulled Greenie out of my hair, and I say, fly. And off he goes. This is Shed Spirit as he flies towards the enemy, dealing 6d6 spirit damage with a basic will save.
What?
Oh, yes!
Like the ghost of Greeny's past? He just like...
Bluey. That's blue.
Oh.
That's blue and pinky. Yeah.
What is he doing?
He is going to, as I send him off, like a little flying monkey. He's going to take to the air, and he will fly towards him. And go, Mah! As spirits of all kinds spill from his
This
mouth.
tiny little chameleon
causing
opens
him-
his mouth, and the face of God emerges.
That's exactly it. He just sort of unhinges, but it just goes way far, like in Beetlejuice or something. Like it's
Basic
just.
will save, you say?
He's bad at those, right?
Come on.
Is what I rolled one, yeah.
And you didn't villain point it.
Ooh, I did it. Did we have to leave on point? Nope. It's a 22, but it's a natural one, so that's
just a
That's
failure.
a critical failure because it's a natural one.
Oh,
It's a
yeah!
You gotta yourself.
So he does double damage?
Yeah.
Greenie does double
I
damage?
think this guy's about to evaporate, but we'll see.
66. So do I roll twice?
Just
or-
roll
or I
6
just roll
and
once
double
and
it.
then I
Yeah.
double it.
Just roll once and
I
double
think
it.
Greeny's about to evaporate this man.
Oh!
Ooh, oh,
That
That's
sound tells me-
3 sixes.
18,
There's
22 plus 8, 30.
30.
Doubled 60.
60
Oh, yeah. Oh,
damage.
What happens? What happens? He do not got 60 health left.
Like I've set up just a little. I giggle as he leaves my palm. Greenie shoots towards the other side of the room, and with arms outstretched, he opens up his maw, which just continues to stretch past even the limits of his body, as a bright light, which no one will remember, spits out and just turns him into ash. After which he gives MD a little kiss because, of course, he gives half of that damage
30.
dealt as HP
30 healing.
to a near
to
ally.
MD.
Mwah.
And this flash of light
And he will just kind of nestle onto the top of MD's head, having done his quest.
blasts out, and
Fulfilled his
everyone kind
purpose.
of blinks, and when you look back, on the ground, there was just a short sword, some leather, lamellar armor, the turban, and some cloth that was about his body.
What is that about us being mortals?
Whatever was him is just gone. Nothing left but a pile.
Or is staring at Cammy extremely wide-eyed, like, don't.
I'm gonna run into them and go, "You did it! Come here!
It's a lizard can
Good
smile.
job!
If he can look pleased, he does. He does not have a very emotive
off
face,
my
the
head.
chameleon.
Put 'em on their head.
Good.
I'm gonna crouch down over the remains of nothing and pick up the short sword. Does it have magical runes? I'm still bleeding.
Do you need me to stop your bleeding? I think I can stop your bleeding.
You work on that. I'm gonna work on the mental daggers.
There is an entire team of you here that can help MD overcome this, so I'm not gonna roll it again. The fight is over at this point.
Ooh.
And you you patch up the bleeding, you kind of push this pain out of your mind. And you have a sword, good sir.
Sword.
Most of the runes in this are, shall I say, relatively fundamental, but
Yeah.
incredibly potent. You can just kind of tell with a quick moment looking over and a sense of magic that this is a +3 greater striking short sword.
That's nice.
Nice.
Is there,
Like
anything,
that.
is there anything interesting with the armor?
It does have an additional rune on it. One that just looking at makes you feel uneasy.
No.
Do you want to roll
Can I help?
whatever your kind of check is? Are you taking a break in here? You can shut the door. You
Yeah,
gotta-
we can
shut
go in there,
the
take a break.
door.
Roll me a check.
I
What
think
kind
I
of
can,
check?
I can check
Whatever you're
Arcana.
used to identify items.
Occultism, whatever you want to use.
Oh. Oh, whatever I want to use.
Yeah, any of the 4 spellcasting traditions.
Oh, okay. I'll just use Arcana, I suppose.
Can I use athletics?
No.
I'm gonna guess. Ooh.
You jump up and down on the sword.
I imagine your time is probably medicine or somebody.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a
probably
minute.
me.
Yeah.
37.
37. I'll give you that, and for bonus, I'll give you the armor because that's a huge roll. That is an unholy rune.
Oh.
This sword is infused with very pure and direct energy of evil. It is unhallowed, as it would be. It does some bonus spirit damage, exceptional bonus spirit damage if you are attacking a holy or hallowed target. And if you critically hit with it, because it is pretty cool, you critically hit against a holy target with it. You can use a reaction to make them bleed for 1d8 per damage die. So it'd be 3d8 bleed.
Is that what happened to him?
I'm not holy.
He's not holy.
But you can't like make holes with a unholy
that's a
weapon,
good
so
point.
it's not piercing, right?
The armor and the next trick he was going to pull is +2 resilient, greater invisible leather lamellar armor.
Lamellar?
Lamellar?
What does that mean?
Lamellar?
Lol.
Is that like
Polymer?
a designer or
It's,
something?
It's plastic.
Gucci. It's Gucci.
Yeah, it's Gucci leather. It is mechanically, I think, literally identical to leather. It's just it's composite armor instead of flat leather. So it's more like overlapping leather plates and bands than
But
just a
it's magical?
singular piece
So it
of
looks like
leather. Oh, it's
scaly.
extremely magical. And it is +2 resilient, greater invisible. Which means that 3 times a day, you can take 1 action to cast a 2nd level invisibility on yourself. That was going to be his
That's
next
really
trick,
nice.
if you guys will return. But we've made it back to the caravanserai. We're clearly not the only ones here. More of these denizens of Lang seem to be showing up more and more often for a lot of us. And this room, as I said briefly in the mayhem at the beginning of the battle, looks like it has been ransacked. This denizen went through everything, clearly looking for something.
Marius is gonna stop and take a bite of the truck stop hot dog.
The King of Yellow was here last time you were here, so all you gotta do is go meet back up with him. Get your introduction to the Mad Poet. I'm sure he's fine.
I hate it here.
I mean,
That's
I got
gonna
a
be
battle
it
medicine.
For us today, everybody. What's wrong, Kobe?
I'm tired of the Dreamlands.
I'm sure he's fine.
I don't care about him.
Can
I'm sure we could find the Mad Poet by ourselves.
you?
No.
You just went through an entire quest of accumulating gifts and we're planning to come back here for the express purpose of trying to find him. You have no idea where to even start looking. This desert looks like it's infinite in every direction.
In the Dreamlands.
Yeah, in the Dreamlands, that's true. You do have a start. You have a dimension.
We
That's something.
We probably follow the North Star to deliver our gifts.
We'll be back.
Let's
Lance's schedule. We will be back next week. Yes. I know
Needs
we're
a set
missing.
schedule.
I know we're missing one in the near future, but it's the week.
Podcast
The
listeners.
week after next. We will not be here because that is in the middle of all of the holidays, and it's just the law of the universe that it's pretty much like all but impossible to get a group of 6 adults together on a regular schedule like 3 days before Christmas. So mark that one down. 22nd. Not gonna be any strange Aeons. Hopefully we'll have something here for you instead, but we will be back tomorrow afternoon and with the next phase of grand studio upgrade for everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Stay safe. Stay safe.